nice.
Yo, there's a lot. Yo, my favorite anime phrase. There's a lot of bad guys who be like, man, like you should have killed me when you had the chance, because now I'm in version like beast mode bullshit. My hair is yellow now, so you can't kill
version beast. That's basically what I'm gonna call final forms of just beast mode. Bullshit.
Yo, 7 Deadly Sins is like that. A lot of that. Like, man, I'm lucky. You know, you could have killed me, but I saw your move was serious, so now I'm in my unleashed form. What you gonna do? You know, what you gonna do when Hulkamania runs on the
I gotta hate that shit about enemies, but it still be hot. But it's like, oh man.
podcast and stuff. We just started.
Okay.
Boom.
This is like that fake intro.
Yeah. But now we started, so it don't matter. Keep going.
You said podcast and stuff?
I did say podcast and stuff.
Is that the name of this? Is that the name of this podcast?
That
podcast
probably
is that it for
maybe
now?
more famous. Right now, it's all under my name. But I mean, honestly, yeah, podcast and stuff. That's probably
Should that be the official title?
That should
of
be
podcast?
the official
Well,
title.
the title isn't aLr. I mean, that doesn't make sense. Like, that's you. Even if the aLr Boosh podcast, but podcast. And
that's
stuff.
me coming from like I think from the Joe Rogan sphere, you know. Call your shit the Joe Rogan experience because he liked Jimi Hendrix.
That's why it's aLr Boosh, but it doesn't have the experience. It
has aLr Boosh life.
aLr
I
don't see that. Where you see that?
It's not on the Twitch stream. It's on every other podcast
that's
network.
what I'm saying.
But it's on the podcast network. It's on the podcast. It's on anywhere else. You look it up on YouTube.
Right.
You look it up on Spotify. But for Twitch, we chilling.
But podcast and stuff is that's just the tagline.
Yeah. Look, I'll update the title. Podcast and stuff recording.
You can update those titles. You got to make them more salacious. Podcast recording,
debating. It's not.
You gotta. We'll start doing that. We'll come up with like
discussing the intricacies of anal,
shit.
You know, and then we'll get like the
trending words, shit we don't even talk about. You know what I mean? Just trending words. But yeah. All right, so we begin. I was just saying, Lord Jamar, on his podcast, talking to K-Slay. For those who don't know, Lord Jamar, legendary rapper, brand newbie, K-Slay, super legendary mixtape DJ. No, he just had a new artist that I was familiar with. So like those two things just were kind of weird. Lord Jamar like being narrated with an artist that like one that I've kind of seen too. Not like disrespect, but I'm like I've seen this dude's name, so. Just like Lord Jamar is behind this, all this stuff. So I thought that was a little interesting fact.
I was doing a quick shout out to Bob. That's one of the two people I lived with last year. Bob is responsible for all my locations when I lived in Austin. TCMB.
Is Bob here? Why are you just randomly?
Oh, he's in the chat, dog. You just don't be checking.
Oh, I was saying, why you just? I have it. Oh, I see. All right.
TCMB Bob. See, speaking the language of bacon right there.
I need to go into the
channel. You see it like
I was just on your page.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the
You wasn't in the chat?
Also. Salute to Bob.
TCMB, that's his street name, TCMB.
TCMB, that's Bob?
They call me Bob. That's what that means on the street.
Oh, they call me Bob. That sounds kind of like a gang. Like
it do, TCM. But he pick up the phone. Like I've introduced him to people and he's like
That's like, TCMB?
Nah, but he just says it like straight up, like, yo, they call me Bob. Like he picks up the phone, like they call me Bob, straight up.
He says straight up after it?
Nah, he don't say straight up. I say straight up.
I was gonna say, Bob, don't be so aggressive.
Just start adding words and shit.
Yo, they call me Bob, straight up. Like that's kind of aggressive.
That'd be hard. He should add that. He should add that to his thing. It got
That's
so
just really his thing. I don't see
that is
him. I
really
don't
his
see.
thing. Well, that's because you weren't in
They
there.
call me Bob.
You will
That sounds
only
like a gang.
you will only see the chat.
Your rap shit.
You're only gonna see
TCBM
the
money.
chat post when you join. You're not gonna see it in the past unless you're watching an archive. If you watch an archive, then you'll see past chat. But yeah, it do sound like a gang. When I saw that shit written down, I was like, "Yo, man, that look like some street affiliation."
I like it. I like it. TCMB.
like TCMB, yeah, man. Like,
yeah.
it's serious. Yo, but on that A&R tip, it looked like I feel like a lot of people is on that wave, even if we don't know they on that wave. Like hearing the Busta Rhymes Drink Champs, it looked like Spliff Star. Spliff Star was talking about Nori was bigging him up for putting him down on some Brooklyn heads like 4 years ago, who I guess is popping. Who I still don't really quite know who they are, and I didn't really cast their name to Google them. But Spliff Star is doing it, and it's like, yo, I don't even know Spliff Star to really even have like a solo career. Even though he's in the game. No, I know who Spliff Star is, but I don't know his solo career. I don't even know if he got albums and tracks.
Okay.
But he in the game enough that I guess he knows enough experience to just shoot people in the right direction. You know what I mean? Obviously, the most famous one, because we listen to Joe Budden, is probably like Gucci Mane. You know, like gave birth to like half Atlanta of the new Atlanta. It seems, you know. You listen to those stories. So yeah, it just seemed like everybody on that wave, you know. So except for Nori, Nori relaxed, right?
There were a few people on that 50 deep that I wasn't like super familiar with, so I googled them. But one was and I probably heard their names before, but one was I can't remember his name, but he was also a producer for Master P. I shouldn't bring him up. And know
like now or the old days?
Nah, back in the day.
Like KLC? KLC, I feel like is the most famous one. KLC, Dog Pound.
No, it's EA Ski.
So he's one of the other guys then.
American rapper and producer from Oakland. He served as rapper and producer for No Limit Records, producing Master P's early records and also releasing some of his own material.
He's not part of the Dog Pound?
Oh, now that you say right, because he's from Oak. It don't say that though. I'm pretty sure it would have said that right in the immediate thing.
Or Beats. What is it? Not Dog Pound, right? Was it like Beats by the Pound or some shit? I don't know, some shit like that. Hold up.
It don't say nothing about that.
Let me see. Hold on. KLC.
It just seemed like his own dude.
Beats by the Pound was the No Limit Records in-house production team. Maybe he was in the beginning.
So he was probably in that, if that's what it was called. But but he was spitting. He's on 50 deep though.
It's KLC, Moby Dick, and Craig B and Odell. That's the.
So it's not this dude. His name is EA Ski.
Yeah. So yeah, he might have came before that. Before they wanted to go into mass production.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of an interesting little fact when I looked them up. But all right. So where do you want to begin?
I was just say real quick on them tips. It's funny how they both have. I guess one of them was semi-emulating each other, but it's funny. The real reason why they had in-house producers is because they was ready to go into like mass production. Like, yo, we was gonna crank out these albums,
right?
Like that No Limit wave. So like, they couldn't do them quick enough, so they needed that in-house so they could just keep snapping away, So. But yeah, if you talking about topics, I don't know, man. I start off with some baby stuff. Some of these ain't even real because I got a bunch from not doing it because of the Disney, because of the Disney. Because this ain't a real topic, but I'm gonna bring it up. Yo, Sephiroth. Well, I guess if I say it like this, it's a real topic. Yo, Sephiroth is in Smash Brothers, dog.
I saw you sent me that. I don't know if I don't know. I wasn't really. I don't know.
You see that shadow stab on Mario?
Yeah, I'm not into Smash Brothers, so it wasn't like exciting to me. But it's, I mean, that's cool. I guess that makes sense, right? Like for them to cross over into there eventually.
Well, Cloud been in there, but it's just funny.
Has he? See,
Cloud been in there. So I should send you the trailer, but I ain't send it to you because I didn't think you was gonna watch it. But the trailer is I guess they're fighting one of the two bosses. I don't know the Smash lore. I couldn't even tell. I thought it was something from Sephiroth because it looked all heavenly like Sephiroth anyway. But I guess Smash people are fighting this Galeem, and he's like one of the two bosses of Smash, and then it gets chopped in half, and like everybody gets pushed to the side, and they kind of like in recovery mode. And I didn't see their faces, but I guess they supposedly like grateful to be saved. But then when you see it gets cut in half, it's Sephiroth, and Cloud knows what's up, so he ain't really too excited about this, you know, like, about who's coming.
Like, he's not here to save us.
Yeah, and he's like, it says, because you know, I don't know if you ever seen a Smash trailer, but it always has this cool like kind of card pose and shit, where it shows like Abraham is booshing into Smash, you know, like they use like something from their game. So since Sephiroth's coming from the heavens, it's like Sephiroth descends into Smash, you know, like.
Oh, okay, how they arrive.
And then in the previous trailers, the two people with DLC before they got invites to Smash. The Terry one was real good, Terry Bogard, because it goes to all these other like KOF people who are not gonna make it. And then even Geese, you know, I think Geese falls off the damn roof trying to get the thing. Like, but obviously Terry gets it. Yeah, Sephiroth, he didn't have an invite, but he saw Cloud was here, so he came anyway. So so like that, I like that play with the lore and all that, you know. And there's an interesting thing that like maybe I was too young when we played Final Fantasy VII. Like maybe you could touch on this, or maybe it's in the remake, but. One of the things Cloud tells Sephiroth is like, "Get out of my memories," and that almost makes me think of like, is Sephiroth some kind of like Inception thing? Is he alive because of Cloud, or?
I don't remember the story in hyper detail.
Yeah,
but my mind wants to tell me that has something to do with like the Genova cells or whatever. Like links them or something like that. I don't know if it has to do with the Geneva cells or I don't really remember the early part of the story and like everything that was going on. As many times as I've played it, like I don't remember the intricacies of it, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I found that phrase interesting. I wasn't gonna go down to super well, but I found that phrase because I'm like, yo, I don't really understand Final Fantasy VII at all, but I played that as a child, so I was probably just concerned with doing Knights of the Round a lot and Bahamut and all this stuff, you know. Like, I didn't really understand like there's all this. I understand there was good guys and there was bad guys. I didn't really quite understand what Sephiroth was doing. I'm still don't quite understand what he's doing, but I mean, like,
I played it honestly. I played it so long ago. I probably was in a similar.
Yeah, we like the same age.
Thing like you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I think I just was focusing on the game part and leveling up and being ill, like because I didn't play it like with an older mind, really super paying attention to the plot. I think tactics by chance, I end up paying attention to the plot. And I definitely played that longer than FF7, but I end up paying more attention to that plot than FF7, and I played that more recently, I think, than FF7.
I feel like tactics, like, see, like, you know, I felt like I grasp things from those times, but still at a very basic level. But I think one of the defining things that comes to mind for tactics, it might be one of the first things that I was into where like the church is bad, you know, but using the guise of goodness. And I think that's probably why it stands out to me, because it might be one of the first medias that I was privy to see that, you know what I mean?
I'd honestly have to play those games or read a synopsis of the stories again, like with a current mind, to really grasp what was going on. But Cloud and Sephiroth definitely were like linked somehow. I don't know if it had to do with Geneva stuff. I know that there's some kind of like Zack and him in memories or like, so I don't know. Aren't they like clones of each other or something like that? Like there's something I don't know, whatever the soldier program was.
And then the whole thing with Zack too. I'm like, I still haven't put all that together, you know, like it
has something to do with that soldier program.
Yeah,
and I feel like I don't want to say clones or anything, but yeah, there is some stuff. I'm gonna Wikipedia later. I'm gonna like try to get a quick synopsis of some of that stuff because I honestly really don't know the story of that either. Like, to be honest with you,
But it just made
I
me
don't know
think.
why she tripped out or none of that.
It made me think of Inception right away, like the way Leonardo keeps that girl alive, his wife alive, you know, and she ends up being the like one of the main villains of Inception, but she's really only alive because DiCaprio can't let her go, you know. Um, so yeah, when I heard him say that, like, get out of my memories or something, like, it's like, yo, so is Sephiroth not even real, but your ass can't let him go because of some link that I don't remember, you know. So I don't know, just reminded me of that. But the real so that made it a real topic. He's in Smash. That's not what I wrote down though. I saw his I saw his Final Smash, which part of me always jokingly thinks like, why they even make Final Smashes? Because in a world of tournament, like, no one can use Final Smash. But at the same time, I always forget that I was in the FGC and that's what I used to follow. In reality, as popular as Smash Pro is, right? Like, the only reason all those IP is there is because a bunch of mainstream people are playing it who probably do use Final Smash, you know, like that way. And
What's Final Smash?
That's essentially that's like your special, like, you know, like, there's no meter in Smash, but if you get a random item, you can use your you know, Super Hadouken, you know, which is usually
the last one I played was the GameCube one, and I don't know if there was.
I don't know because I didn't really play any on any type of wave till actually 4 is the only one, and we're essentially on 4.5 right now. But Final Smash is just like you know, when you play with items, it's an item, and that item essentially to equate it to fighting game, it just gives you full meter. There's no meter, but essentially it gives you full meter. And you can do a special, and especially if you're a DLC character, usually you do some cool signature shit. So Sephiroth does Supernova, which I don't remember this at all. Again, this is a long ass time, right? It's super quick, but he turns into the one wing angel thingy monster, the final Genova hybrid, whatever he is, where he's naked and stuff. And then he does Supernova, and like, stuff happens. But then I saw on the bottom left corner, like in a few other places, but primarily in bottom, I was like, yo, there's like math and equations. Like, why is Sephiroth using science and shit? I was like, maybe was like, what? I just was confused by that. I was like, why are there like why are there equations on the screen right now? So I was like, well, let me just Google Supernova, and then I saw the real one from FF7. Yo, that shit is just as long as Knights of the Round.
Omni Slash or something like that.
Nah. Omni Slash is 15 hits, but it goes by, right?
Omni Slash is long for a limit break, dog.
Maybe it has been a while.
Pretty good.
It's been a while. So you see, Omni Slash.
Give it to you, dog.
Omni Slash.
You know what's worse? Lionheart.
I don't remember that
like
either.
Omni Slash Plus.
Omni Slash. Yeah. I feel like it's one of.
You're right. It's not that long.
Is one of Cloud's final smashes, and then I think
it's his final limit break. It's his
no. But I mean, just in Smash Brothers, you see, like, he gets the thing, and Cloud will do that as his final smash. You know,
it's also in Tactics. But it doesn't look like
it don't at all. I was so disappointed. I think I stopped playing with him.
Yeah, you were tight and trained all that time.
I was like, I'm done.
It didn't do 999 times 15 at all.
I didn't realize. When you you know, in retrospect, when I saw you kill the game, and if you just take the time to level up Cloud is dope. But honestly, I just wanted to see that shit. You know what I mean? Like, it was the time of N1. I needed to see Cloud do the moves. I don't want to play. I just need him to be dope.
It's not that high.
This ain't the NBA, man. I needed that street shit.
I probably hooked Cloud up with some other shit. You know what I mean? And I feel like he took mad long. You know what? He took mad long to charge his attacks, so I had to hook him up. You know what I mean? We like, yo, we know you cool in 7, but you kind of trash in this world, bro. We don't know what goes on in 7 world, but shit's crazy.
Yo, he starts off like in the middle.
We about to fight Jesus.
It's
you
either
Sephiroth.
50
to fight Jesus.
Well, he show up like 75% late in the game.
It's like at the end of the game, you find him in
and
the
he start off level 1. I ain't got time for that shit. And Omni
We
Slash
hooked him
suck.
up. I had some tricks. I'm like, yeah, we ain't gonna do you like that, Cloud. We ain't gonna leave you level 1. That's wrong.
If Omni Slash
Nah,
didn't
man.
suck, I would have rolled with him. But that shit sucked. I was like, I'm done.
Yeah,
I
I
was
can't
like-
remember his moveset. I wonder if they were all just his limit breaks.
I think he
don't
had
remember.
a lot of the same moves. They just didn't look cool.
Nah, they didn't. Nah, they didn't. Even for tactics, which like doesn't look like 7 and all.
Yo, if
But
he
yeah,
did
nah, they
Omni
weren't.
Slash in that basic form, I would have accepted it. But I needed.
Nah, they didn't have nobody doing that though. It wasn't. Yeah, nah, the graphics wasn't like that.
There was
But
cool moves in that
Lionheart
game.
is more beat. Yeah, nah.
They just didn't come from Cloud. They just didn't come from Cloud.
Facts. Yeah.
No, anyway, so yeah, there was equations, and I still don't know why there's equations in this move, but I saw the FF7 version of Supernova. That shit's crazy.
I don't remember that shit.
I don't remember it either. I was like, yo, did I
Yeah.
just beat him bad? I mean, or is it just time?
I was gonna say, was that a move that he used?
That's a
as the
move
final-
that he used in
Yeah,
7. It's Supernova. It's hilarious. That shit is the truest summon. It's the truest summon.
He probably didn't even get that shit off of me. He probably went.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I probably just never saw it. Because even me, like, you be using the strats, but we be heavy, you know, like we be heavy, like it would, like, for the most part, especially in the early games, I was heavy, you know, like I might be going Naruto forward, but we strong forward, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you did.
I'm not weak sauce till 10, and even then we still winning, but we winning with my shirt ripped like Hogan or some shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know how you play. I like it too. It's more challenging. I come in like Tomb of the Seven Gods.
Yeah,
Niggas like, yo, why
you coming in with the strats? You coming in with the strats? I just be going forward and shit. But you know, like we using
ain't even
everything.
Let Emerald Weapon go.
We
He
using
went
everything in the bag. Yeah, Emerald Weapon. That shit. I remember like using King Knights of the Round and going to talk to like my mom and shit in between summons and shit. You know, like,
Yeah, because you had to mime. You had to do like 4x mime. It was some crazy shit. I just let that shit play.
W2 and like all that shit.
Yeah, it was some setup to like just get rid of it pretty quick.
I don't think that's gonna happen if they bring Ruby Emerald back in the remake. I don't think you could do that in this because the game moves now. You know what I mean? like in the remake.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Anyway,
we were
Supernova.
talking about Supernova.
That shit is like, you should look up that move. That move is ridiculous. That move is like 2 minutes plus. I feel like 2 minutes and 40 seconds long, but it's ridiculous. It's like you in a fight. My man's like Supernova summons that shit, and there are equations for. I still don't know what they do.
So you get into the universe. You break them down. You can see the code.
So yes, you are in the universe, but he's summoning that shit from beyond. He's summoning that shit from beyond the Milky Way. You see Pluto, and Pluto dies because the nova is going through it, and it shows like, every planet one by one. It's like dropping them, like Neptune. And like a lot of the planets.
I don't know if I've seen. I've
never seen this. I've
never seen what you're describing. I would have remembered this.
I thought this shit was fake or something, but I looked it up and it was on YouTube. So I looked it up.
He definitely get it off. Yo, we ain't trying to let you hit us with no shit from past. Who the fuck out of here, yo? Hey, stuff. Hey, stuff. You look like he charging some ill shit up. He ain't getting that off. Hell no.
Especially back then, like we were building it up.
That should probably kill you too.
Yo, so one of the comments said it can't kill you. It should kill you, but you know what it does? It always takes 15, 16 of your health. So it's still a lot. It's like the ultimate gravity. Yeah, it's like the ultimate gravity move, but it goes through every planet. The most hilarious was Jupiter. It just left a hole in Jupiter, like it just like a big ass hole in Jupiter.
Wow!
And then
Jupiter's gas.
Jupiter, okay, there you go. And then Jupiter blows up. It's just like an action movie, like Michael Bay, like walk away.
Yeah, so we're just gonna be left with 1/16 of our shit after this. Like, nah.
Yo, so a good majority of the universe dies, and then when it finally gets to you, it's kind of like sun like pushing like heads, and then the light goes white, and then you just And then since you're all standing, all three, it looks like it took 5 gabillion damage because it's really like all of yours, but they're all red together. So it looks like a 16-digit number of damage. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Yo, I wish it would.
You definitely need math equations if you're going to precisely summon a celestial body from past Pluto and take exactly 15/16 of your enemy's damage. You probably need some math for that.
I was like, I don't remember. I just don't remember Sephiroth ever bringing equations into any type of talk. Not even fighting, just talking. Just talking.
We ain't trying to hear none of that shit. You already got one of these joints in the sky about to come here. Ain't no way I'm trying to let you summon another joint. Another joint? Yo, you already summoned a big meat.
That's true, yeah. The whole storyline is about black meat.
You get another one off? There's no way we ain't getting another one off. You think you Madara? Hell no. And nah, dog. Don't be none of that.
I ain't even think of that. How you have like a side, your side space. Like you spend the whole game about the meteor and so you got like but you got your side space move.
Yo, anybody
this is my pocket Nova.
An opponent,
how you have a pocket Nova?
If you fighting an opponent that could summon celestial bodies, yo, don't listen to them get gibber about what. Yo, as soon as he punched that dude in the mouth, get busy. Look at Madara. Right? They let him get too much off. He summoned that big old rock and then summoned another one on top of it. We ain't letting.
Oh shit! I'm seeing that vision. Yeah, I vaguely remember it. But
yo, as soon as I seen the first one, yo, we need to double time. Yo, he can summon shit from space. He needs to finish mine. I don't care what he got in his eyes. Yo, ninjas rack up, ninjas unite.
Yo, there's a lot. Yo, my favorite anime phrase. There's a lot of bad guys who be like, man, like you should have killed me when you had the chance because now I'm in version like beast mode bullshit. My hair is yellow now, so you can't kill
version beast. That's basically what I'm gonna call final forms of just beast mode bullshit.
Yo, 7 Deadly Sins is like that. A lot of that. Like, man, I'm lucky. You know, you could have killed me, but I saw your move was serious, so now I'm in my unleashed form. What you gonna do? You know, what you gonna do when Hulkamania runs on the
I gotta hate that shit about enemies, but it still be hot. But it's like, oh man.
It's like, why y'all even playing? Like, this whole shit is a game, dude. This whole shit is a game.
Yeah, right.
And then the good guys, like, you guys should just be walking around with nukes. Because apparently bad guys don't take the world seriously. You should just be clapping them. Stop giving people opportunities and shit.
Nah, as soon as Sephiroth was talking crazy in Midgard, yo, he offing this dude before he levels up anymore. You know what I'm saying? We seen he's killed that snake. That would have been enough for me to put a bounty on Sephiroth. As soon as we saw the Midgard Viper pipe like that, like, yo, don't let this dude.
I don't remember that. I don't even remember that shit with the snake. I might have to.
That's why you have to go. We're gonna move on, but when you get out of Midgard. That's why you go to the Chocobo farm. So your first encounter with Chocobos is because you need to catch one to ride it into some cave. Because if you're walking on the world map, it's a snake. You can see on the world map, it's mad big compared to you. And you're just not fast enough. Like, it's impossible to make it to the cave. It probably isn't impossible.
I almost feel like I could play FF7 now just because that shit's a brand new game, apparently, to me. Like, I don't remember any of this.
Part of it would be, a lot of it would be like, or at the least, you would see it differently than you did back then.
You know what I don't want to play, though? I don't want to play Midgard.
Nah. It's probably.
I don't want to play.
You
Midgard.
know what though? Honestly, I probably wouldn't be too mad at it story wise because
I wouldn't either because it is brand new. But I just know I've played that more than any other part in that game. Just Midgard, just losing my memory card, all kinds of shit.
It's not my favorite.
I remember I lent you disc 1. I had one of these 16 memory cards in one, and somehow it would bug out. So like I lost all my data, and I was like, yo, I need this one. You like, yo, I ain't even beat this one. Now I'm like stuck waiting for you.
Midgard's kind of trash. It is. And it's long too.
That's just crazy.
Once you out of there and you out into the world map, then like the game
Yeah.
the game kind of kicks off. Man, that was an ill game.
It was. It was just at that time, since that was like our RPG Terry, there was nothing else like that. You know what I mean? There was nothing else like that. Yo, I got one here. I got a topic here about anime. Since I mentioned anime. I wrote anime changed because of streaming. Lots of 11. Because we said this shit, I think maybe on that Disney show, but it was all Disney all the time. So I actually seen a bunch of anime lately. Yo, John said he only played this one in FF7.
Really?
That's it.
That was it?
That's it. So,
you didn't like it, or it just was too much? Or?
What year? Yo, when did you play FF7? I'd be curious, too. Did you play it during... We played it literally like when that shit was brand new.
You had that shit when it came out.
Yeah. I had to go, I think a few days later, I had to go exchange it because it came with 2 disc 1s and a disc 3, I think.
Oh, wow. I don't even remember that, but I know you had shit.
I think it came with 2 disc 3s. Some shit. Basically, I had a repeat disc. I don't know why, but I had a repeat disc. But yeah, I had a Toys R Us, dog. Toys R Us. R.I.P.
Yeah, I know the slang on. Yeah. Right across the street.
Nah, but I wrote down because you mentioned, I think we was talking about shows on the Disney show. He said his friend wanted the game back.
Oh, he had the same problem. That shit got deleted.
Yeah. The memory card struggle, dog. Yo, so you mentioned like, anime, like, if you're gonna watch some episode shit, you need it to end, right? You don't need this infinite shit like the normal TV shows be doing. And I was like, now hold up now. But I was like, it was a topic, and we were on the Disney vibe, so we never got to nothing else. But I seen a lot of animes lately, and to my surprise, I would probably say almost all of them, not for the year, but almost all of them I seen in the last like couple of month or whatever it has been. They all been 11 episodes. And yo, none of them ended but one. None of them ended but one. And I almost feel like they're kind of shifting to the same style of storytelling that everything else is. Like, let's just keep it. I don't know if forever is the right thing, but they kind of just trying to elongate it. I seen Netflix even years ago take a 26 episode, which used to be like the standard. I seen them split up to 26, 12 here, 12 there. You know what I mean? But I seen a lot of 11 episodes one, and only one of them, Decadence, ended, which was pretty dope. That one essentially is a hybrid of mad things, but it had a lot of Matrix vibes in it. It was a flip on the Matrix, essentially.
It sound that made me just think of Apocalypse. Not Apocalypse Now. What's the Apocalypto when you said that?
I still haven't seen that. I've only heard you talk about it. And that one, like, it's weird. Like, I can't fully understand, like, why this is, but, like, humans are the endangered species, and they think they're fighting against these monsters. But again, like, they are fighting these monsters, but they think, like, this is, like, the human struggle. You're like, yo, man, like...
It's just other humans fucking them over, basically.
Nah, it's not human. It's robots, just like Matrix. It's robots.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, the robots bought the rights to the human species in like a business deal a long time ago or something.
Wow, the humans sold some humans sold out the whole
basically
to robots. Yeah.
So now like the robots, like
we had a bad record deal. Basically, humans had a bad record deal.
Basically, in advance. Here you go. You paying forever. You paying with your race, dog.
You don't own the shit no more. Okay, go on.
But the robots. So like. In the human world, there's like a small percentage, maybe like 1% of the humans who get to fight these monsters. But the people who primarily fight these monsters are, I think they're called gears. But the gears are just avatars of the robots, and this is just a game for them, you know? So does that make sense?
So there's no people fighting.
There are, but it's like very few. It's like 1% of the human race.
But their robots are avatars of the people or of the robots. So
no, the robots have their own. They live in their world, right? But they go in same way like we go in VR or a computer and play whatever avatar. They play an avatar that kind of looks more like a human, but those people are the ones who fight like the monsters, and this kind of whole thing is a game for them.
So this is all manipulated by the robots, though. From what
Yeah.
what it's fake. It's
Yeah,
a show.
the humans are inside a Truman Show game, but they don't even know that this is a game. You know what I mean?
It's all right. Okay, I got you. That's ill.
Yeah, no, it was pretty dope. That was probably one of the better ones I've seen, and it ended. I was like, that's fucking dope. That's fucking
Yay! Wow, you guys know how to end stories.
Yeah. Hey, what you talking about? You high? It's called Decadence, though. Go check it out. Go check it out.
Like, you talking about some crazy shit.
But yeah, like
you already know my take on this.
None of them ended. Yo, there's two other like godlike animes I think that I've seen, but I feel like I like these kind of game manipulate because they're all the same now. They're all various forms. Tower of God, you gotta Tower of God was the best because it kind of reminded me of maybe my own life and some shit. But there's this tower where if you get to the top, all your dreams will come true. But apparently this tower is infinite, like, just like the amount of episodes it's going to take to get to the top. Because the comic is still ongoing, you know? So, yeah. So, I mean, like, the show, like, it ended at a good point, but it's just like, man, like, it had dope-ass music. We used it on one of the Beat Battle samples. And it's the same thing. And there was another anime, and the same thing. It had, like, cell phone games. Where again, like there's like just real life kind of like it's almost gamifying the life experience. Almost all my things were like that. I guess I like that shit. That kind of manipulation through game or some shit as a story. I don't know. But the main point of that was like, yeah, they all seem to be like 11 episode clip. That seemed to be like one of the new drops for anime. Almost everything on Crunchyroll I was seeing was like 11 episodes.
They trying to sneak get people. They trying to trick people like me. That's what they trying to do. They trying to trick us with these short little seasons, but they really just gonna keep it going on forever.
Yeah, it's the fish.
I mean, that's interesting. I don't know if I have anything like I don't know what my thoughts are on it, other than like I'm okay with shit having multiple seasons. Like not currently. It's well known. If you follow shows, probably as many people. But if you start following, you're gonna see that I don't watch fucking season shows. But I used to though. Dragon Ball Z, even in terms of anime, right? Like I watched Naruto for a little while. I watched some things that were on Adult Swim, and otherwise I've watched seasons of stuff and even regular shows. But now that going on forever shit. You know what it is all right, bet. And I don't watch it now, but for X-Men and Naruto, there's like arcs. And I imagine all shows have different arcs. So I think that's okay, right? Like I'm not really down to follow 300 episodes. But if I have a story, like the arcs are stories essentially, right? So the arcs come to an end, but the overall story is still continuing. Like I'm okay with that, but still, I don't like the carrot being held in front of my face forever, right? So your point, if the point of Tower of God is like to get to the top of this tower, and that's the whole point of it. Like I want to see the top of the tower. I don't want to see it 5 seasons from now.
If you isolate it to that 11 episode saga. First off, I thought they was at the top of the tower. I thought it was guaranteed. You know, like, I thought they made it. You know,
no.
I've never seen any Studio Ghibli movies, John. Like not one. But they're all on HBO Max now. But yeah, like but Tower God is still more my favorite. But I mean, I looked that shit up and it's still ongoing to this day. So it's just like I think the dude got sick in June and he ain't really been dropping any since. So I'm like, this shit gonna take even longer. Like, the comic ain't even finished. My man's health is in jeopardy, so he ain't even dropping an episode. I'm like, man, dude, like, I don't know. It was just kind of like disappointing though, like this 11 episode. I think it was also like you can probably ramp things into production quicker if they're just 11. Get something out, get people going. Like the minute you get an IP out and it's hot, right? Sure, you gotta worry about making more, but honestly, yo, it's hot. Yo, let's get that merch going. Let's get these t-shirts. Let's get all this side bullshit. Anything that has this shit, you know, make money. 11 is probably a good budget because it's like, yo, the anime trash. They could go read the manga.
That's it, right.
But that anime hot. All right, we're gonna keep making it.
Just do another 11, but let's keep it 11.
And then now we got all this other merch that we don't even got to take a risk on because we know people like this shit. You know what I mean?
I mean, I kind of like that model, especially being someone that don't like multi-season kind of stuff. Like, if you keep the season short on what it, and my whole thing is like, I don't think it takes infinity to tell a good story. So if it takes you forever to like finish telling me the overall story, like I'm not trying to sit here forever for the story. That's why I could mess with the X-Men, like the cartoon, like because there's kind of like
Monster of the Week.
Is okay.
Yeah,
I'm okay kind of following like a arc that has a beginning and end. And okay, sure, there's still this long story that you're gonna drag it out. But if you give me something A to B, and then the next thing is something different, but that can only go on for so long, right? Because eventually seasons kind of start to become just the same shit, right? It's just going on. It's the same. It's a new bad guy. So at some point, the shit got to end for me. You know what I'm saying? Like even with season shit. For example, I watched Dexter. I was like super big on HBO.
Which I told you is coming back. Which I told you is coming back.
I'm not. No. I like that show. I thought it was an ill show. Like the concept, all of it. Me and Tab watched that a whole lot. Super dope. That's the only show that I seen, I think, to the season finale. Like I seen all of them. It's the only show I think I've ever watched, like TV show that I watched all of the seasons. Like towards the last seasons, it's just the same stuff happening from before, you know what I'm saying? And like it seemed like the shit just get more wild and like unrealistic as time goes on.
Baby.
It just
you gotta keep it going.
It's like, all right, now this isn't even like what it was before. So the ending was disappointing. You know what I'm saying? Like to keep going on all of this, and then to get to the end. I think maybe that might have killed shows for me. I might have just been like, I ain't never.
Dexter.
And I like that show. I thought it was dope, but I don't know, it might have been 6 seasons or something like that. Like it just started getting repetitive. You know what I'm saying? Like you really just starting to look at the same thing.
So you say that
slightly different person, but it's the same shit. It's not new. Nothing new is developing. Like, yo, how's he gonna get away from this? Wrap it up already. You know what I'm saying? I don't need another convoluted season of him, you know, in weird situations. Like I get it. You know what I'm saying? You a serial killer living a double life. It's tough. Gotta figure out shit. Know what I mean? You're basically a player. But anyway, shit gotta end. I ain't trying to hear. And it starts to get uncreative. In my experience, that may not be every show. In my experience,
you don't think all 15 or 16 or who knows how many seasons? What's that CW show like that just finished?
You say some wild shit. You said CW. No, what? I don't.
What's that? CW. The Winchester brothers or some shit?
What? Yeah, I never see.
I've only seen like the first 5 minutes of this show.
CW show. That's
Supernatural.
Yo, he said the Winchester brothers.
That's their name, Winchester.
Is that a thing? Oh, they really the Winchester. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not tripping. I used to always see.
That's not the name of the show, though. The Winchester.
I don't know the show, but it was enough for Google to tell me it was Supernatural.
I remember.
I used to see always the first.
They used to host.
Yeah.
Hunt Ghosts or something, right?
Yeah. It just ended.
That was damn. Wow. Really?
Let me tell you something. You make a show that long. You make a show that long, 15, I was right, 15 seasons. You make a show that long.
Yo, nothing happened in season 15. Nothing happened. Nothing.
You want me to read what happened in 15?
Nah, I don't want you to read what happened. They ghost hunters. They 15 seasons of hunting ghosts and drama, right?
I used to watch the first 5 minutes because I probably was taping Buffy or Angel around that time.
I was going to say, that came from... That was from the lineage of those shows, really. Yeah. That was just the later version.
But I would only see the first 5 minutes, and I would be like, damn, that seemed kind of interesting. Because there was a point where I was just seeing the first, or maybe, actually, no, by the time that it got interesting for me, actually was the Flash. I think it was probably around that time, because I used to tape Flash. But either way, like the beginning would always be they got to a certain point. I think the beginning they were fighting like the universal stereotype monsters, you know, the mummies or whatever they fighting. I don't know what they fighting.
It was
I never
almost
seen.
like each episode was like a case though. So
Yeah,
that one's kind of is a little. I don't know the arc
but
of that story, but I've
when I
seen it
used
and
to
I
watch
remember
those
each
5 minutes,
episode.
they were on some heaven and hell shit, like playing with the lore of like religions and shit, and like you know Cain and all these people coming the same way I was talking to you about Lucifer. So it seemed kind of cool once they got that, but at that point you also into that infinite novella, you know, area.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
right. Yeah, 15 seasons. See, and something like that, from what I remember, I've seen a few episodes here or there, is that each episode, I know there was an overarching story. I don't know what it was because I didn't watch the show, but it seemed like it was almost like a detective show. Like each episode was like them solving a you know what it reminded me of? Like X-Files.
Mm.
Like how X-Files, each episode was a different X-File. It was a different
But that's the
mystery.
CW
So
formula, and then within a season is the big boss. You know?
right. And you know what? That kind of the way the type of stories told. Again, I'm not gonna watch seasons, but I'm okay because it's almost like yes, there's this big story, but you're really getting individual, kind of unrelated stories, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's I suppose right. Every episode they hunt a different type of spirit, right? Or there's a different story behind the spirit. So that might keep me content for a little while if these stories are interesting. Oh, this ghost died like this, or this is this creature we're doing this time. Like that's gonna ride. It might hold my interest, but after a certain point, like
You
even
good?
with that, it's like, all right, you're hunting fucking ghosts. What happened to this one? The family was killed. Why he hurt?
Yo,
Right
nah.
at a
Towards
certain
the end, I
point.
read. Look, I've never watched like a full episode of the show, so I don't even know why. But out of curiosity, I read like the summaries on Wiki for the last, I think, episode, and then I had to read the second one to try to make something. But at that point, they playing with like the family of God and like you know like people trying to like
Oh, they
ruin.
got a real storyline
Yeah,
going on.
yeah.
They not
People
even doing
trying
like
to
the PI
essentially
joint no more.
people up in heaven doing Sephiroth things, you know, essentially.
And that might have been interesting at first, but I ain't trying to roll around with that forever, dog. I'm not. Know what I'm
People
saying
on
Twilight Zone is another long series, the old joint. But that's like a kid thing, but I like it. But again, each episode is different. There's
yeah.
no story arc for the Twilight Zone. Every episode is an individual story, so I get a new story each time. So I can mess with shows that are like that. I remember watching X-Files, and that had a big arc too. Well, I think his sister was taken or something or whatever. But each episode was a different weird file that scenario they was looking at. So it's refreshing. I just can't keep with the same base storyline and it just over and over and over.
So I hear
It's
this
just
talk and it makes me think, yo, do you think the MCU will have an end? Not anytime soon, but do you think it will have an end?
I'm probably biased to that because I like that stuff. So
No, not
part
that
of
you
me
want it to end. I'm just curious, like, do you think that will have an
I'm
end?
answering you.
All
I'm
right.
saying I'm just giving a disclaimer that I'm probably gonna answer a little biased.
Yeah.
Because I'm already interested in those kind of things. Will they come to an end? And I'm trying to think from my perspective of how I just kind of describe how I like shows. It could and it couldn't. I think it depends on the storytelling. So if they could continue to keep telling interesting, but look at what I'm interested in. If you know what I like from Marvel, right? I'm not so much interested in the individual stories with Marvel. I like all of the movies, but look, they all mirror matches. It's kind of the same as mad origin stories. Superheroes really aren't that different, like at the baseline, right? So I'm already familiar with them,
Yeah.
right? Well, I'm really here to see what? I want to see Thanos, which also is new, but I've never seen this done before.
Yeah.
Like this. This is a big event. So I'm willing to ride for this big finale and crescendo. But I mean, honestly, in between, there's mad dope. All of the dope movies are like the Civil War, the Winter. It's certain ones that are dope. A lot of them are kind of the same template. Like
Yeah.
All right, these are dope. I fuck
You
with it,
trying to
but
go when Michael Jordan comes to town? You trying to go to that game? You're not
I'm
trying to
trying
see
to see
every
the
game.
ills.
Yeah, you know.
But I'll roll with it. So to answer your question, what I would say is, if they could continue to keep an interesting story or keep telling the interesting individual story, because at this point, people's origins should be kind of cleaned up, except for new people that are going to come, right? So I should be seeing you do it. So do I want to see Doctor Strange forever? No, eventually that's going to get old. What does Doctor Strange do? He's a good guy, he fights evil. I get it, right? G.I. Joe's fight Cobra. I don't need to see that for forever and ever and ever. Aliens, space roaches, I get it. Get rid of them. I don't need to see that forever and ever and ever. But they have the opportunity to tell me a bunch of ill stories, even if it's just Doctor Strange. It could be a new bad guy, new motive, new this, new that, tie into it. So I think because of the universe, it has so many characters. There's so much lore in Marvel, comic book, and shit not yet created, that they could keep it. They could keep it interesting. Like there's mad characters too, right? Like you could continually show me a whole new person in a whole new world. I never knew nothing about Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Dexter's just Dexter. It's this dude for 7 seasons doing the same fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to, nah. So I think they have more room to like keep you interested than maybe other things that don't have as big of a universe, all this lore, 8 bazillion characters that have interacted and all that. They could what ifs, right?
I was gonna say, yeah. Like anytime soon, I don't see it ending. Of course, not anytime soon. But like, I was just curious, just in general, like, would they end it and maybe do other things, you know? But yeah, like essentially, right now, what the more likely scenario is the Power Rangers scenario, except the Power Rangers scenario, but probably the way I don't know how they do it in Japan, except that they do it every year. But Power Rangers in America is technically in the same universe, you know, like you just pass in the baton. I don't know how Super Sentai works. I feel like I get the vibe Super Sentai just starts every year. It's January. Let's get some new Power Rangers.
You know what though?
But yeah, you just pass in the torch. New Hawkeye, we got baby Hawkeye coming, baby Scarlet Witch. I'm sorry, Black Widow, etc. Yeah.
I think what Disney's going to do, and I'm not trying to get into no Disney conversation, or what Marvel and the strategy is like similar to what we were talking about the Pixar movies.
Yeah.
Is like on their kid movies, but then obviously underneath there's like a lot of other storytelling and stuff that appeals to that. I think that's kind of the same things going on here, which was going on in the comics to begin with. So I'm not going to attribute it to Disney. Infinity War already happened, right?
Yeah.
Like all of these things already occurred. These things already existed, but there's like deeper stories to it, right? Like there's a lot of subtext in the comics that keep it
interesting,
interesting. And I think they could tell a lot of these different stories and play off of real life stuff and the real situations, right? Like there's still a lot of crazy stuff that goes on, and I think they do a good job of the storytelling, like not just the comic book aspect of it, but right, like a genocidal tyrant seeking to balance the earth, make it good. He got to give up his own. All of these other kind of like moral dilemmas and stuff like that kind of keeps it interesting. So they could keep, I don't know, could it? But however, at the same time, could it get old? Absolutely. That'll depend on them. If they keep telling me mirror matches, if shit isn't getting interesting, if it's, you know what I'm saying, if it starts to feel like it's just becoming a template, and y'all just kind of right, like, and to a sense it has been, but if it starts to really start to feel like that, then it might lose me. But if they keep introducing characters, new plots, and new relationships, and new cool subtext, right, that's beyond the skin of what you're looking at, then I'll roll as long as it's interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll roll for dumb shit. I'll roll for all 13 Jasons. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. I don't think Marvel gonna get that dumb.
Nah.
It will be interesting though when Kevin Feige gone. Like
They have too much. They have too much IP for that though.
Yeah,
They have so many character shit that I probably am not familiar about. Right? Like they could dive into shit that literally would be new to me.
At this point,
Guardians of the Galaxy was new to me.
I could be wrong, but at this point, they arguably own everything that's
important.
No, yeah, but I mean, just in general, I think they own everything except for Hulk and Neymar, and those guys are in weird contracts where
what about Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, fuck. I'm sorry, I'm spoiled by him just showing
Spider-Man, that's what I'm like.
Sony kind of like, yeah. So actually, about that,
no, I don't blame you.
All right, outside of Spider-Man, no. So anyway, I was saying they own everything except for Spider-Man. Spider-Man's on his weird contract, but all his friends, unfortunately, all his friends are missing. You know, it's like Wu-Tang Clan again. All his friends are missing.
Literally got a bad record deal. Like literally, he's an example of like.
But I was gonna say, outside of the Spider-Man verse, the other two they don't own are still able to participate via, I guess, just show up.
Nobody give a fuck about Neymar #1.
Nah, I think Neymar is gonna be badass.
No, I know.
If they do that story though,
he's OG. I know he's like Aquaman. I know he.
No, but I feel like if they do him right, like in that storyline that's supposedly for Black Panther 2,
what I'm saying is nobody will miss if we never seen Neymar.
Oh no, you're not wrong.
Nobody will cry a tear. So they were just fine if they didn't even own it, but if they could do something dope with it, that's cool. But they ain't worried about Neymar the Hulk.
Dude, I'm sure they got bootleg Neymar in there that they could use the same way.
There's another water dude in Marvel. There's another underwater guy that does the same things. Of course,
the same way they're doing She-Hulk because they own that one.
Yeah, for sure. There's another one.
Let's see.
Yeah, no. I don't know. Could go both ways. They fuck it up. DC's already fucking it up. X-Men fucked it up. So yeah, you could fuck it up. Spider-Man fucked it up. So you could definitely ruin it. You want to see another X-Men from Fox? I know you can't, but you want to?
I literally made that decision twice this year. I still haven't seen the new Dark Phoenix.
You didn't look.
I still haven't seen Dark Phoenix.
In rehab and all that. Nah, salute to you.
And I still haven't seen. Not that it looked nowhere near as bad, but I still haven't seen the horror movie New Mutants. I just haven't. Like,
good for you.
I'm surprised you didn't see that. Like the New Mutants.
I'm trying to quit. I couldn't. I was on a plane, needing a fix to watch something, and I put on Phoenix, and I was just like, I shouldn't do this no more.
Yo, so
I should have known.
So I was trying to look for something to segue. If there's something that segue into that, but I don't think so. So I'm gonna just pick. What is this? This one said, just because it's Disney, I'm not gonna use it. I'm gonna pick here. Here's a fun one. This should be probably pretty quick, but I heard about this. If John is there, John probably knows about this. But yo, like, Tekken has a Wi-Fi indicator now in the game.
For your signal?
Yeah. So if you playing with someone in Wi-Fi, like if you trying to look for a fight, let's say it comes up, I see you, I'm like, oh man, KS is using Wi-Fi. I'm not even gonna fight him. I'm gonna just go over here, you know. So like, yeah. So like, I guess this is the first fighting game where you can see if people got Wi-Fi or not. And then
it's not the first game you can see people's connection quality though.
Fighting game. I said fighting game.
I feel like I've played.
No, not the connection quality that you can literally
I'm just saying there's been that they have Wi-Fi. I see what you're saying, but it's not the first game to show us that this dude's shit might be whack. You know what I mean?
Nah. But you can see that they got Wi-Fi, and now people literally won't play people with Wi-Fi. And then I was watching this video.
I want privacy from ISP.
I was watching this video from Giuna.
Discriminated against,
and he was showing like all these clips from Twitter, and there's people like bitching. See all you people, all you internet Nazis. I think like Ethernet Nazis they were calling them, or cable Nazis.
Ethernet Nazis.
That's what they was calling them.
That was happening?
They was said, yo, I used to play Tekken online all the time, and now I haven't gotten a fight for the last week. Fuck you. Because nobody wants to play the people on Wi-Fi.
Step your game up, Slowy. You know what I mean? No,
and then I saw another clip. I think
so why do Wi-Fi people don't band together and just play each other?
So here, this is my second. I think so. He showed like a Reddit post, and it was like how to like trick Tekken into thinking you on Ethernet, even though you still on Wi-Fi.
I just do what is it? Namco? Discrimination and privacy suit.
I think that's dope. They doing that.
Play people don't want to play against me, or
I think that's dope. They doing that.
Wi-Fi.
I think that's dope.
Only because I use Wi-Fi. My right as a human being. How dare I be judged off the internet connection type that I have?
That should have been around forever. But of all the
you're
years,
for this labeling?
for all the years for it to drop.
Take note, Twitch. Take note. Listen.
For all the years, I know as I stream on Wi-Fi right now.
Listen to him.
Like I'm streaming on Wi-Fi right now.
It is. Tyranny right in front of you.
Yo,
go ahead. Tell us about how you wanna put a stamp on people that's a little star that say Wi-Fi. That's terrible.
Yo, I'm doing California tactics right now, right? What did the governor do? He was like, everybody got to wear a mask, and then he was out eating dinner with no mask. I'm out here streaming on Wi-Fi right now.
Fuck, you think I wear a mask? I ain't scared of shit.
But not like first that should have been around for years, like back in the day. But what's funny is, of all the years to finally drop that, like as the world even let's remove COVID, the fact that more people are playing online in a world where there's no local tournaments. So let's remove COVID from the picture. You have just all of technology is moving toward Wi-Fi. Not that anybody playing these games would even have an Apple, but if you do, you don't even get the option of an Ethernet port unless you buy something big or mini. Unless you buy the right contraption, you don't even get an Ethernet port. You know what I mean? Like, because they anti all that shit. So it's just just society is moving like to more and more Wi-Fi. And then they do it in the COVID year where it's like now everybody's at home. I can't even play locally, even if I want to. And now I'm getting discriminated for my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, no, I don't like that status is shown, and you know what I mean. No,
I thought that was pretty dope. It's kind of late. Like, I mean,
you want to be able to discriminate against people with slow connections.
It's just for the people.
You're not an equal.
Look what you just said. You want to be able to discriminate against people.
Come on, I gotta.
That's like driving on the highway. Like, yo, so you want those people in the left lane who go 5 miles per hour?
You're right. I would hell no. So I ain't trying to lag. You know what I mean? Get your little cheat shit off the just shit this fucked up. Nah, negative.
But I love, like, instead of, like, some people's solutions was like, yo, instead of getting a cable, let me show you the hack. Let me get the hack. Like, from Reddit.
Look what they got people doing.
Get that
underground Wi-Fi hidden network so you can be able to. This come on, man. What's going on?
That's why I can't be rolling with the FTC no more, yo. That's why I can't be rolling.
Yeah, no, that sounds crazy. That sounds all kind of crazy shit. You gotta meet a dude that could sell you. You gotta get like getting out of the country or something, right? You need a fake identity. I'll show you how to mask up that Wi-Fi. Now, I mean, make it look like you were Ethernet. Is that what's going on? You got to talk to a guy.
Basically, I didn't even look it. I didn't even learn how to do. I was like, that's not my problem. But I just was amazed that exists. That there's a bunch of people in a group. There's a bunch just doing this.
Wi-Fi jail. Nah, I don't got Wi-Fi.
Just denying.
I don't got Wi-Fi. You know what I mean?
I just found that amazing.
I have my avatar as an Ethernet cable. Know what I mean? Just so people know.
That's just crazy.
My profile picture's an Ethernet port. Like, nah, I ain't one of them. Know what I mean?
But yeah, nah, it should totally be. That should totally exist. But like,
okay, network connection. Funny. Network connection discrimination. All right.
Let's see what else I got on here. I got a good one, but I don't know if I wanted to go there yet. But I'll just do it. Yo, man, and there's a lot of for prog music, man. There's a lot like of I guess projects I never thought would ever make records again, but I guess because of COVID and touring stopped, a lot of people, sometimes a lot of the prog guys sometimes do these side projects, but like in a world where everybody's doing their own thing, they're not really real bands, you know, because they got their actual main band. They can't really do that, you know.
Right.
So a lot of these things, one got announced literally today. I was like, yo, I never thought that shit would ever happen. It was like involve one people from Dream Theater. I was like, it kind of makes sense it's happening now because he's no longer in Dream Theater. So it didn't make sense before because at a certain point, it was 3/4 the band. But main reason I bring that up is one of those bands, the band Transatlantic, right? First off, I'm gonna talk about their release because this is crazy. Like on a day where two deluxe albums came out. We was talking about that earlier. Got the Eminem, we got the Conway.
Right.
All these deluxe out. Everybody dropping deluxe albums. So Transatlantic is about to drop this album. This is a different thing. This is a person who makes prog music's problem, where you just can't decide, right? You can't make the final cut. I think they're gonna drop. On the surface level, I think 2 versions of the same album. But I think depending on how anal you want to be, there might be 3 or 4 versions of the same album. But let's just stick with the first 2. I think there's going to be one album, the normal one, which is like super long. It might be like 2 CDs or some bullshit. And then there's going to be another album, which is the same album, but it's just one thing. And I was like, that don't even make sense. How can you have like one album, but like essentially 3 to 4 different versions of the same album? And then they were like, yo, some of the music is only on this version, some of the music's on that version. And I'm like, yo, so if I want to hear this album, I need like 4 different albums to hear the album.
I mean, that might be a business move.
They claim it wasn't, and honestly, knowing like how like that music thing. It ain't. I think it was more just like people don't want to decide. It's kind of plus this group is kind of like it's like 4 leaders in the group, like in their own world, you know. So it's kind of like the Illuminati and like Marvel, you know, or it's kind of like, yo, why don't we put Dr. Dre, fucking, I don't know, like Mike Will made it. Like all these kind of people who are used to being like the guy in charge, you know, right. like you know, why don't put Q-Tip, all these like leaders of their own world. Now they in a group, and now one of them got to make decisions, you know. So I think it's kind of just like people, and then they said like COVID kind of happened midway, so they couldn't. Had COVID not happened, probably would have made some decisions. But then, like they said, some people started working on stuff, and then some people started working on stuff, and then nobody wanted to give up positions, so they just do everything. But I was just like, man, this is the most convoluted album. Like if you read it, it sounds even worse than what I'm saying. But in a world where they're selling physical product too, so I think for those people who are fans, that might be interesting.
It's one album, but it's really
it's really like 3 different versions. Yeah, then. This is what I was saying, like, the easy way is that there's 2 versions. There's one really long one that it might be 2 or 3 CDs worth of music, and then there's one CD, which is more like, I guess, accessible. But that one got songs that ain't on the big one, which don't even make sense. How the one normal album got music that ain't on the album with like 3 CDs?
Couldn't add a 4th.
But the main thing I was even going to talk about was the leader of that group. Even though they're all 4 leaders, but they still got one leader. The leader of that group, because we always talking about ownership and shit. None of his music still to this day is on Spotify. Even this thing, I went looking for this group Transatlantic to play this stuff. Only now the new singles on there, and I'm guessing the new album because they're doing a little like label license deal. But everything he's done is only on one place, called Radiant Records, and basically it's his own streaming service that he made.
I was gonna say it's his website.
It's not, yeah, but it's an app and everything. It's a Spotify for him. It got no other artists on there. It's just a Spotify for him.
This is basically
I was like, yo, and he been doing this for years. This ain't even new. I knew about this. I forgot because he's not my favorite. This group is the only thing he's even involved in that I would want to hear. All the other stuff, I'm like, you go do that. I don't care. But the other day, I just had
He
the
got a
urge.
fan base, and I'm sure he's
He
successful,
do.
right?
He absolutely do.
But basically,
He absolutely
essentially,
do.
what did he do? Now, I'm not saying this is scalable, but everybody could do this. But right, what's the answer? Right, make your own platform.
So what
Right,
was
get rid of the
interesting?
middleman. Get rid of the dependencies. So I got a fan base. Why go to Spotify? Why go here? If y'all really fuck with me, come to my app. Come to my website. If you're gonna listen to me, you're really gonna listen to me. And if you know you got enough people that really listen to you like that, they're gonna look for you wherever you go. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he might not get the same thing he get on Spotify or this else here, but it's all his, right?
Yeah. Oh, I think it's called Waterfall. That's it. Or some shit. I don't know. I was trying to hear about Waterfall. Yeah, everything. Your one-stop stop streaming music from Radiant Records, 140 plus hours of music. Is everything he's ever
But you
done.
can't do that if you, not that you can't do it, but I don't know if it's as effective if you're not already ill.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you ill and you got a following, you could do that. You don't need none of these platforms. Get some dude to make you an app. Because guess what? If people are looking for you and they go to Spotify and they can't find you, and they go to Apple and they can't find you, you like, yo, this is where I'm at. That's where they're gonna go.
I sent it to you on Discord if you want to look at it. Yeah, what I thought that was interesting because a few years ago I was like, man, I wanted to make my own distributor, but not like that. Like more just like I want to be able to I want to be my own distro kid and still deal with the real stores, But honestly, yeah, doing this is a less complicated way like than what I wanted to do. Because in my scenario, you still need relationships with all those distributors around the world,
Mm.
But yeah, like I had never even thought of that. Like at a certain point, it would make sense. Yeah, just make your own Spotify. Don't worry about being the Drake, like I always say. And life's good. Life's good.
Right.
Life's good. But yeah, I was like, that might be the only artist I know that has that I've messed with that has something like that.
Right. Yeah, no, I've never heard of someone having their own like that. Makes sense though.
And it's not. What's funny is like he been doing this for years too, so it's not even like it was ahead of the game.
New. Yeah,
it was ahead of the game. Like he been like known like that. Probably in a world that's like so niche. This music is so niche anyway. He probably was like, you know what, man, I need everything I can get. Spotify played caca, so let me just get it,
And if it's that niche, the people that are looking for it are gonna look for it wherever it is because it's niche. Like it's not even expected to be everywhere if it's that thing. So you know what I'm saying? Like if you got a certain taste, you can't get everything in Walmart. You can't go to Target and get everything if you got certain taste. You can't go to the main things for certain stuff. You gotta go to the shop. You gotta go to the artisan's place. You gotta, you know what I mean? You gotta go to the little hole in the wall that makes the shit with the fresh ingredients from here and there that you can't find nowhere else. So there's always a market for that. And you know what the thing is too? With certain niche things, like people be willing to pay for their niches too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like people that fuck with fine wines or guns, whatever their little niche of stuff is.
Yeah, you ain't gotta leave. You ain't gotta leave this
it.
platform. There's people on Twitch right now who got they Patreons or even simple stuff like Discord. Some of them are like a subscriber only. Like just that's it. The whole entire Discord is subscriber only.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know. I heard Puff Daddy. I guess I'll do this one. I heard Joe Budden. I heard Joe Budden, and I was like, I had never heard of that album.
Don't bring this up. You about to talk that Paris bullshit? People not happy about this.
Wait,
and that dude?
No, tell me because I don't know what you're talking. This is not what I was gonna do my own Abe stuff.
No, go ahead.
No. Tell me. I'm curious. I'm curious to learn.
What you know? I want to hear what you was gonna say first.
It's totally. So like Let me read it because I'll be writing in Abe speak. I don't want to like insult the man. Okay. So I had never heard of Long Train to Paris or some shit. Last Train to Paris. I went through this album, most of it, because again, it was another album. Depending on where I picked, had more songs than the one. Puffy was ahead of the game apparently. I bet you that was the days of the Target in Walmart, where Walmart would get an extra track and Target would get an extra track. That's probably why. Yo, there's a beat on there from Chris Brown. That's pretty hard. Yo, I was like, that might be my favorite song, which is ridiculous. I'm not used to liking Chris Brown songs. So but I was hearing that, and I'm going through like the track listing and the credits, and I'm like, I had no idea who Dirty Money is, and Dirty Money they disbanded like 2 years later, you know? So technically they have this album, but I don't know if this is a Diddy album or a Dirty Money album. Sure sound like a Diddy album with Dirty Money, which is what it's called, but it just made me think like let me see what I wrote, because I was like why would you want to like work with Puff Daddy? Essentially, I was trying to get at. I was like, from my perspective and the way we grew, I was like, eliminate the 90s nostalgia. It's like, why would I want to mess with him? Like, because it seemed like just going off of names in my head, it was like either make it now because Puffy has, you know, he has a commercial door, you know, so you can make it now if you mess with him, versus the longevity. You know, it's like a commercial. It's like you're making a deal with the devil. You're gonna get this dude. I heard several songs and videos from this album, and I'm hearing this dude, and I was hearing this music. I was like, all right, beat sound proper. Even if I didn't like the beat, I was like, beat sound proper. Singers sound like they know what they're doing. And then Puffy started rapping, and I'm like, all right, so he don't write the lyrics, and it's 2010, but he sound like an amateur. Like he sound like he reading these lyrics. And I was like, yo, who's the weak link in like a lot of these songs? There was one song where he's singing with, I don't know if it's auto-tune, but it may be like predates it may be just other tune. It's not the normal auto-tune we used to, but that one sounded all right.
Trash.
But I was like, yo, this dude, like, he sound like an amateur, but he's Puff Daddy, so what are you gonna do? I was like, what are you gonna tell him, like, yo, why don't you take this off the track? Why don't you take yourself off for 90%?
Were they good songs?
Yo, so my favorite song is the Chris Brown one. You know who's on that song? Chris Brown.
Nah, I mean, aside from the beat, do you see them as like generally receivable songs?
Yeah, but Puffy sounds like an amateur in a lot of them. Like he just
we know that though, so nobody's expecting him to
I didn't mean his
like...
bars. I meant even the flow.
What you mean?
The flow
okay.
Like sounded like an amateur, you know? Like it just like for some of these songs, especially because as Budden would say, it was different for the time. Maybe it was different for hip hop. Hearing that, I'm like, and you know, I travel around, I'm like, all right, it's like electronic-y sound. So maybe at the time it's not as normal for hip hop. But I'm like hearing these flows, so he's like rapping different to kind of go with the beats. But then there's like songs with Rick Ross and friends, and one of the comments was like, yo, you could tell Rick Ross wrote the lyrics for Puffy on this one. And I'm like hearing it, and I'm like hearing the Rick Ross voice in my head. I was like, oh shit, I think I don't know if anyone knows, but I hear these bars, and I was like, I could hear the husky Rick Ross voice. And then the sway, and I was like, yo, that's Rick Ross, bars. I was like, I know that for a fact, yo. I was like, but then you hear Puffy deliver, and he's not even imitating Ross, so it don't sound good, you know? Like, just like he sound like an amateur. I'm sure you hear it enough, it sound all good, but he sound like an amateur. And like, I was thinking like, man, yo, like, it sounds like a dude who's rich, and he kind of making real music, because he Puffy. He the legend. And yeah, like he can do that. And at this point in 2010, like he businessified, so he probably don't got time to even practice or be good or anything. He just probably showing up. Because I was like, if you working with him in the 90s, he's still businessified, right? Say he made his first million at 19.
Active,
and most of that business, at least on the surface level that I could see, seemed around building the music part first, you know? And the thing where Puffy is not an amateur at, ad-lib God, you know, those, you just did it. You just did it. His those are like expert level you know what I mean? Like that's like, I don't know if he practiced that shit, but he real good at those yeahs. But like, and you know, like a lot of those moments, even him rapping on the Benjamins is probably not too bad. But I think, like I said, at that point,
it's all about the Benjamins, baby. All about the Benjamins. He said, it's already on there.
But I mean, even on those, I feel like in that era he sound tighter. But you know what? Like I said, he's about it in that era. You know, like he don't got like wine and beer and all this shit and TV stations and all this shit. So he probably is messing around. He's probably hanging around rappers, rapping, even if he sucks. You know, like, so he's still getting practice. But just on that song, on that album, he just sound like an amateur. But he's disguised by a lot of the finest
good music.
Yeah, the finest. Like the finest talents, you know. So it just made me think, like, yo, like right now, like myself, like would I want to work with like Puffy? Like obviously, if it's right now, sure, right? I'm a nobody. I'll take it. Like, but I just meant like if I'm like legit artist, I'm like, I almost feel like it would be better to not work with him, yo. Like, cause unless your goal is to really be riding the commercial waves, like. The only artist right now that I know of, and he might have more, is like Montana, right?
I'm not super, but I'm pretty sure they're.
And I'm like, I'm not the biggest fan of that, but you know, they're also doing like maybe the music we're not really about. But I'm like, man, I feel like of all these other like new heads, like I don't know, part of me just wonders, like, yo, like Montana, like break free from Bad Boy tomorrow. Like, I mean, fully free, not this shit where there's like 10 labels and Bad Boy is one of them, you know? I'm like, you think Montana matter, you know? Like, or is he just like, he went through the right door? Now? He mattered to the like, he mattered to the culture that Budden be talking about. He mattered to that culture, I think.
Yeah.
He probably a real good feature rapper. I think that, you know.
Yeah, like, I'm like semi-familiar. So just to play devil's advocate, you kind of said the reason to work with him, right? So
I feel like if you want to make it right, no, because all right. So look, let me finish it, and then I'll let you go. Because Dirty Money went nowhere. Like not that album, just them as a group. It probably was just him like making a vision happen, right? And it looked like they were put together like in the pop style way, like, yo, like you sing, y'all sing together. You know, maybe he saw something that they didn't, whatever. And I look at everybody, you know, Biggie's gone right now, but I look at everybody else and I'm like, yo, none of these guys even rapping no more. Not as far as I know. I don't see the Craig Mack albums like Busta Rhymes, right? I don't see Shine, right? Though Shine's in government, you know. He's deported and he's in government now. Yo, I don't care if you deported. First off, stop. All right. First off, if you're deported, you can still rap.
Still made music.
You can still.
He still did.
And if you in jail, because look, I actually texted Leon's this.
And he still did.
He did. He did.
He had jail bars.
But yo, like Busta Rhymes reminded me
but that's separate stuff. He might have not have wanted to fuck with him after real quick.
No, I ain't. But he don't got to fuck with Bad Boy. I'm just saying, Shine ain't rapping. That's all I'm saying.
He did rap though, and it wasn't good.
It wasn't. Yeah, but it's more to my point. It's more to my point. You know what he's doing
now though? I think
he's government. He's government.
Running, yeah.
He's government. Yeah.
He got elected for whatever he was running for out
he's
there.
Government.
Okay, yeah.
He still leveraged that career.
But people wasn't feeling his comeback, and I heard some of it. Maybe governments.
And you know what's interesting? I don't remember which podcast. I don't remember.
That shit was ultra trash.
I don't remember which person. I don't know if it was DMX.
Charlamagne tore him up about it.
Why? That it was just whack?
He actually called Puffy out on it. And like kind of made it an awkward moment for Puffy. Puffy kind of didn't even want to like. Puffy was almost like, come on, man. Like, why are you bringing this shit up? What is he calling
him out on?
Shine had made from wherever he was. It wasn't mixed. It was like overall just wasn't good. Like it really wasn't. And yeah, but he tried. I
don't remember what song
He had an album, I think.
No, I don't remember what guest it was, but I think on Talib's podcast, someone said a story about they battled Shine at the tunnel or something, and he got like murked. And at that point, Bad Boy said, "No more battles for you." Like, and
For
it was
Shine
just
or for the other
for Shine because he got murked.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, because a lot of the people didn't know who Shine was, and they were like, "Yo, I should be next in line. Who is this guy getting this thing?" You know. But it was more. I was saying Shine, and I like Shine, by the way. But I was just saying him more in the case of like these people seem to only exist because of Puffy. So it seemed like you kind of making a deal with the devil, in which like you're not really real, you know.
And what was the claim about Shine when he came out?
He not
what was
real.
Everybody saying
He not real. He can't.
No, but what were they saying about him?
Oh, that I don't remember, dude. That's the reason.
That he sounded like a fake Big.
Oh, I do remember that.
I
do remember that.
A lot of people felt like he was like the
impersonating his ass. Yeah.
Trying to, you know what I'm saying, fill the gap because
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And it was kind of like, and he did, but like if you really listen to them, they're really not alike. But it was just that,
just the timbre of his voice,
that vibe,
yeah,
that it kind of came off. And to what you're saying, maybe it was. Maybe it kind of was like, yo, we just lost the goose that lays the golden egg, right? We lost literally at that time. He was legendary. At this point, right? He's mythological, right? Like Achilles level, legendary in the halls of history, right?
Yeah.
You lose that, like, and the reason I say this is because I've heard other rappers in interviews that wasn't even affiliated with Diddy, that when Biggie died, I think Saigon brought it up, a lot of people wanted to fill that gap because that wasn't there no more. So a lot of people wanted people to sound like Big, to do what he was doing. He ain't here no more if he could do it. So, yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe there's something there. Maybe there's more to it, not it being fake. It's like this shit. Knowing Puff in business, maybe it was a marketing, you know, kind of play to do that. You know what I'm saying? You sound like him. You could kind of make your voice get that big vibe. Like, all right, let's see where this go.
My main thing was to say,
I'm just saying,
it's like Puffy is like, he seems like a kingmaker, you know, and the only people still making music today that left him, and they left him maybe early enough, are the Locks.
They had issues with him though.
Yeah, but they left him right away. They left him before he could really blow them up or
they say there's they say there's a bad boy curse. That's the thing. It's like
I've never heard of that.
If you go to everybody that's gone to Bad Boy, maybe with the exception of the Locks, has turned religious. Some fucked up shit happened to them. They went to jail.
PTSD, Mace like I need God in my life.
Religious. Shine went religious. Loon, like all of them. And when you interview these people, they don't like co-sign that, but that's like a thing that like there's a bad boy curse that like if you were on Bad Boy, something bad happened to you. And I mean, like it makes sense as an urban legend or something like that, like Biggie.
Yeah.
Loon goes to jail. Not that has anything. I don't know why he went to jail. He just recently got out.
Yeah,
because he was on Lord Jamar's podcast.
I vaguely remember that name.
Shine, right? And Shine is arguably right. Some will say he was defending Puffy there, right? He got thrown under the bus because he did the shooting or whatever the fuck happened that night, right? Shine. Who else is on like you said, Bad Boy that
I don't know the people I just named.
Junior Mafia, I don't know what Little Kim goes through, you know what I'm saying? So
some of those people might have been signed to Biggie's label though, like through him, you know, through the thing. So I don't know if they direct Bad Boy. Like the whole Junior Mafia thing might have been.
Well, Junior, I'm not gonna include them, but like the people that were under, you know, directly under Puff, like so people say that
outside looking
and a lot of people say a lot of ill shit about Puff, that he's, you know what I'm saying, or some some other conspiracy or whatever type shit. People be saying Puff is on some other shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he a grimy dude. There's an interesting story. I can't say that it's true because I wasn't there to witness it. But his bodyguard, Gene Deal, who rehashes the night that Biggie died, and he has a problem with Puff. And he goes into why that they knew it was going to happen. A lot of stuff. Puff was, essentially selfish and looking out for his own self-interest. And and from that dude's opinion, it cost Biggie his life. But he has this crazy story that after Biggie died, Puffy needed to see a priest. I don't know. He was feeling bad. He went to get blessed or something. I don't know. He just wanted the negative energy off of him, all of this shit happening. And I guess it's part of whatever they were doing. They blessed like a dove or something like that, a bird, and he was, supposed to let it go. And the dude swears it's a true story. He don't even come off as a dude, older dude. Like, it don't seem like
he lying. Yeah, he
would have a reason to lie. And I don't know if he witnessed it or not. But the story is that when he threw the bird up, that shit died and fell. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, dead ass. That you could go look the interview up, look up Gene Diddy. He said the shit died and fell, and Puff just walked away, and the priest was shocked and all of that. So.
Yo, I don't know what this says about me, but I hope that's true.
I'm just saying people say some shit about Puff. You know what I'm saying? People, you know what I mean?
All I was trying to say was outside looking in, it definitely just seems, just keeping it on music and not all that other shit. It just seemed,
I don't know.
It just seemed like normal kind of kingmaker pop ways. If you want in, I can get you in, but you probably not going to be doing what you want. But you're gonna have all the glory, right?
And that's the trade-off.
Me and you come from a different time, but we don't exactly, look at Montana, to anything probably. I look at him more than you because I do like music, and occasionally he'll be on a good track. You probably look at him zero.
I remember French Montana when he was still a street rapper. He came to our hood before.
Really?
He came to the Commons before with somebody. I don't know. I ain't seen him yet.
Is this when I'm there or when
this
I leave?
When he's not.
No, so I'm not even there no more.
Home, but he's not.
Well, I just meant me. I'm not there no more.
You wasn't living there no more.
Yeah.
It might not have been long after you moved, but I remember somebody saying that he had been through or something like that with whoever. I don't know what stuff was going on, but he wasn't. He was like a buzzing name. He was still kind of mixtape type shit. This is where dudes is hearing him. He wasn't where he is now, which I don't know where it is because I don't even look for him or hear much of his shit. I didn't really like the dude back then. I thought I really wasn't. I don't know. I didn't really like his bars too much.
Yeah.
But to say why would you want to work with him, knowing that what you just said, which sounds true.
It just feels like success can only come if he. I got the camera all weird. If he can have his hand in your heart, you'll always be successful. But if you try to leave, you're gonna die. At least the art part. It just looks from that pop thing because you're gonna be so defined by that by the time you all right, I do this now. You're no one's gonna care. And maybe. I can't say this.
How things work for other things. So is this a Puffy? Normally, if you work on something legendary, people be like, "Oh, cool, you worked with so and so. Great, come on over."
And the Puffy thing just came because I thought the Last Train because I just heard I know about that and I was like, "What's the dirty money?" So it just started going and I was like, "Yo, outside of the fact that this guy did the Bad Boy era in the '90s, for me, probably wouldn't mind collabing on a track or something. I don't know if I'd want the career though, because I'd probably be doing it for the wrong reason to him, for money.
Oh, you talking about a career working for him, not just working with?
I'd be down for the I ain't. We could collab EA all day, Nas. Everybody collab.
There's a lot to learn. Even if you don't fuck with him, if you got a chance to work with him, even if he had complete control. You
Yeah.
get an insight into seeing
He can have complete
how
control
Puffy views stuff
over
and
that
does
one
stuff.
track. But I mean, like, as long as it
Yeah, no,
stays on that
I
one
see you
track.
career wise. Okay, I see what you're saying.
It's just the career,
Um,
because I feel like everybody, like, damn, who did I hear that just went Mega? Mega said, right? He had a bad boy. Like, Mega probably be completely different, you know? If he had one through there, maybe even
and you know what,
successful,
you're
you know?
right. It sounds like Puffy be having a little bit of grip, right? Locks with the puffy suits, right? Like
Yeah.
that wasn't their thing, but that was right. Like that was his vision. They went along with it. He's successful. He knows what he's doing. So of course you're gonna
Because
kind of
he's our pop.
listen to some of these
Yeah.
things too,
He's
right?
our
Especially
pop.
during that era, he's
Yeah.
Puff Daddy, right? So
Yeah. Puffy's our
but
pop.
I mean, I guess
Yeah.
for a creative perspective, then nah, you probably if you're really trying to be super creative as a creative, then maybe it's from my understanding. I don't never done business. I'm not in this. Then maybe that's not the best place to go because it sounds like from what you saying and from what we know, he got a vision other than Big, right? Which is an outlier because it's probably best to let Big do his thing. And at the same time, I'm sure there was some play with Puffy making hits, right? Like it's not like he dumb and don't know music either. Um, but yeah, no, it sounds like he like to have a little tight control. You know, he a businessman, so I don't think you just got free. This ain't tech land where you got
Yeah.
free enterprise to go run and have fun and make the new best thing. Like, nah, this some Motown shit.
So
Like, you don't.
basically, I was saying, like, man, if that matters to you, like your artistic integrity, or just doing cool music things, like for the music's sake, probably not the place to go. You know what I
Probably
mean?
not.
Shit, you know, like, cause I can't think of anything else, and maybe the Locks realized that and left right away. You know, um, cause yeah, like, and the other thing that just came to mind right now, Jeezy, in that, like, he told a story of getting signed to, I had to look it up real quick, but I believe to Boys in the Hood, and they on Bad Boy South. But he was doing his solo thing, and I guess Puffy heard him. If I remember the story correct, Puffy heard him. Yo, you want to join this thing? He like, yo, I got my solo thing, but he adds him to the group, and then he rides the wave. So he kind of like, Jeezy kind of like he dropped, the group album drops whenever, let's say first week of June, and it does whatever numbers, and then Jeezy dropped his album right after because it was free pub, literally the next week. And I think Jeezy rode that free wave. And look, Jeezy's still alive. He just put out an album. He just did the Gucci Mane thing. But because Jeezy didn't sign the Bad Boy. Boys in the Hood was bad, and it wasn't even his group. He was just
Bad Boy Curse.
Yeah,
Bad Boy Curse. Bad Boy Curse.
and look, Jeezy got to do Jeezy things, you know? He didn't seem to get like musically, just leaving it to music and not his outside success. Look like he got to do the things that Jeezy likes to do musically. Because he didn't have to, you know, really mess
Puffy
with
weird to me. I don't know. I'm not trying to like judge people. I've seen some questionable shit. You know what I mean? I've seen some questionable, just strange shit that I just didn't understand. But yeah, I don't know.
But I don't know. I just thought it was just a thought that occurred to me. Like, I guess like the easiest thing to sum that all up, he's probably our pop. He's one of our pop people. Like, so if you want to be gated way into that pop world, he might not be the worst way. But if you want to do cool things, it's probably not where you want to go, you know, or independent cool things, you know. But
at this point, nobody should want to be signed to nobody. People should just want to have partnerships.
Yeah, man. But some people want to be on that screen, man. You know, like some people want to be on that screen.
Nah, I don't know. Puffy don't have such a clean track record. Like all these dudes.
No, I get. But when I say it's like some people want to be Drake, until one of the independent people gets to a form of Drakeness, you know, without touching labels at all. Because Russ is a great story, but you know, like, and he did all the music work on his own, but even he was in Colombia to try to ramp it up, you know, there, you know, like, so like until somebody gets, I guess, I don't know if that's fair to say the Drake level of fame, but you know, some type of shit towards that thing. I don't know the reggaeton world enough. I don't know if anybody has done that. I was trying to read the Bad Bunny story real quick because I was hearing him right before we started this. I was trying to see if I could catch the Bad Bunny lore, but it looked like he got picked up by some, even if it's like some Puerto Rican lady. I don't know how independent that is. I really don't know. I don't know the story. So I was like, maybe the reggaeton guys are doing it independent, but it's not. You know why? Because I think I saw Universal Music as at least a mother label on that shit, you know? And at that point, you can't be as big as they are. So some people
you're not gonna
still
have the reach because you don't have the same resources. Like I don't think it's even fair to expect
but I'm just
someone
saying
without
some
the budget
people
of
are
something
still
like that
that's
to
gonna
get the
be their goal
same.
in music. And I feel like the younger you are, because I've probably thought the same way as probably all of us who have done music, that we only see that as making it, you know, like that way. We don't really realize that independent. Not everybody does, you know. Like Russ seemed to be one of the people who was smart enough to realize that at a young age, you know. But a lot of people don't seem to realize that at the young age. So a lot of people do want to go chasing the gods, you know, and that's gonna lead you to the labels, you know. So yeah.
All the labels do is make them seem cool. That's it.
Yeah, that's it's
They just
important though, right? When you're young, the image, right?
yeah, they just the marketing arm. They could put you on the front shelf everywhere. They could put you here. They could put you there where you're gonna be seen, and they could get you seen by influencers and make you look fly and create, you know, all of the things that the pop masses is looking for that they think is cool. Have the cool people say that you cool, right? Like when you got money, you don't have to think this shit is cool. I'll just say this shit is cool. Yeah, this shit is cool. And there you go. Your favorite person is saying this shit is cool because they paid them to say this shit is cool. You know what I mean? But what you were saying about the Puffy thing, the reason I thought you was gonna go is it was brought up. I told you this dude was dissing. This is kind of interesting. I think it's kind of funny and it's separate, but you heard that you heard it on the Joe Budden podcast, right? They brought up that a lot of people were kind of upset that they were making that shit seem like a legendary album.
That's why I never heard of it. I never.
Right.
So wait, Budden made it seem, or Puffy made it seem?
The way this way.
Puffy made it seem like legend, or Budden made it seem like a legend?
Budden. They were kind of bigging up it and making it seem legendary.
That's why I went and heard it. I was like, yo.
Right. Look. So okay, you like I never heard this thing. So people are like, yo, get the fuck out of here. That shit is not legendary. That shit is not classic at all. Like you're bugging. And coming from Joe, his fans probably, you know, people probably like, what the fuck are you talking about? Really, Joe? You know what I'm saying? Like you think this shit? Whatever. So people felt like it was. People think other stuff about the show that he is protecting.
Real quick, this
industry
something
relationships
that could be part of it, but
and stuff like that.
There's one thing I've learned of Budden, like from hearing this show, because people might think of him as the bar guy from the the group that's not his group,
Slaughterhouse, and from his own career,
but
Pump It Up.
As a fan of music, my man does like R&B. And there's a lot of singing.
Yeah, no, that's a
There's
fact.
a lot of singing on his album. So for him,
all right,
this is not a Diddy raps album. This is not a Diddy.
But you know what though? Still, the listeners know that though.
Yeah,
like it's known that he like R&B. So again, anybody can like what they like. I'm not saying it's a classic album. It's not. I'm not super familiar with it, to be honest with you.
I didn't know it exists till this year. This is a brand new Diddy album.
People felt like he wasn't. That had other intentions, you know what I'm saying? And people were speculating all kind of other stuff of why, but I thought that was interesting.
We decided to revolt like next Tuesday. It's coming.
Was also interesting, and I told you this, is so there's a dude on YouTube. He got an account. I suppose I'm giving him shine now. Not that we have shine or anything. He's called Big Pump Killer. And I was telling you. So from what I hear from the songs,
that made me think of Big Papa Pump.
He's a listener and fan of the podcast.
Yeah.
But he's been upset because he feels the quality of the
diss
podcast
record
is going down.
This the diss
record. So he made, I think it's 5 diss records now at the podcast. It's like at the podcast. So everybody in the podcast getting dissed. They're good. They're lyrically good. The videos are good, and when you think about diss tracks, like, like if he wasn't a nobody, like if he was a rapper, Joe would have to respond. He'd have to, like, I can't let this dude talking crazy, and it's all based on shit. So if you listen to the podcast and you follow, like, it's hard. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, you got all this shit in here. So that happens, which in any normal case, nobody would give a fuck about it. Me and you made a song dissing any Jay-Z today. Nobody would give a fuck. Nobody would know about it.
Yeah.
They bring it up on their podcast. They must have got wind of it and they played it on their podcast. Mind you, at this point, there were only 2 songs, to my understanding. So after they played the 2 songs, and they thought it was kind of funny, you know, it was kind of good. There's some funny bars and lines and shit in there. They kind of took it in, you know, took it in stride, even though some of them bars are kind of crazy. But yeah, this dude keep making it. So he got like, now it's 5 of them. They're all pretty hard. He dissed Meek Mill. He made 2 other like dissing the industry tracks. But he brought that up in the most recent diss. He brought up, oh, you saying Paris ain't Trains to Paris is a legend. Like, fuck you. You know, he dissed him, but he brought that specific, little specific thing up and was just like, fuck out of here with that. But separately from him referencing that, which I thought was like funny, I just think the whole, like, I'm bugged out that they played it. Like, I'm like, yo, why did y'all?
I don't think that's too weird. I don't think that's too weird.
Maybe it was good content for the podcast, because it kind of was. But he got, not that he's viral now and has 1 million views, but like his videos definitely have more views now. You know what I'm saying? Like, people definitely saw it because he said it. So I thought that was kind of interesting. What happens with the dude? You know, I don't know, with fizzle out, go away, but he definitely got a little wave that he, you know what I'm saying, is kind of right. I mean, unless I don't want to be a rapper. It's like, I chill with my life. I just want to tell y'all the podcast has been bullshit for the last 6 months. And that's basically his whole, that's like the whole channel. That's the whole channel, it's like the podcast quality is decreasing. And I'm mad.
Sometimes, you know, like that could force somebody to be a rapper out of nowhere.
It's kind of dope they acknowledged him. But I mean, it's just a weird.
You ain't really on Twitch like I am, but to me, like that, like that. I mean, granted, like that's done a lot. Like you might play a lot of other people's stuff on here to see what they say about it. So I don't find it too weird unless you just really don't want to give people shine, you know, which I'm assuming if there's comedic appeal to it, then, you know, they're like no harm, no foul.
I don't know if you would have played this shit if he was dissing them. It's funny. He's still dissing them. Like, I wouldn't have gave this dude no shine. Like, Joe Budden can't diss him back because it's a no-win situation.
Yeah.
But in my heart, I'm like, yo, flame this fucking dude. You kidding me? Broke ass bitch. No basement making a diss.
So you making a diss record, and then we could put it right next to the
I would have had to flex on. There's no other thing but to just flex that I'm rich and you're just a regular dude. I would have just had to do that. Like,
so no, but I'm saying
even that shows that
you can make a private diss record, right? You make it the whole diss record because you need to get it off your chest, and then you can put it right next to the Drake comeback to Pusha T that never came out. You know?
Joe ain't gonna entertain that. They're probably not paying attention to it at this point, but people still looking like now he got a little eyes on him. It looked like he still made a few videos. In the raps, he said he don't give a fuck about none of this, and like literally he says like, I'm just dissing the pod, but definitely an opportunity, right? Like, people now looking at his shit, and to be honest, like, if you hear the disses, like I said, like if he was a rapper and not some random fan, like somebody with a name, I don't know, I might have to. And Joe was active, he might have responded to this shit. I think it's response worthy, other than the fact that it's like a nobody. It don't make sense to respond to them.
I mean, Budden, quote unquote, is retired, and when other rappers were throwing his name,
if this was a person,
he never
like
did
another
anything.
rapper drop these 4 shits again. I'm retired out of nowhere. Fuck, diss him up. Nah,
no, but that's what I was saying. Like,
real quick just to knock this dude out.
He never came back for any of them, whether it was Eminem or Russ or any of these people. So
you know what I was hoping?
Yeah,
I was like, you know, it'd be ill if he was on the 100 deep. If he ends up being like, if anywhere to come out for retirement, it'd be dope if he had a retirement little verse for that joint. I'd time the case laid. You know what I'm saying? If he came back just for that and then just disappeared again, just to show, yeah, I'm part of the 100 Deep. Joe Budden, part of the legend, rapper. Yeah, I'm here, but you know what I'm saying? I would like that.
I do remember earlier this year he flew out to Detroit and he was talking about recording with Royce, but that don't mean anything would come out from it. But he did mention that.
I feel like he's done with music. Like I really like. I don't know if you listen to the pod. Sometimes it seemed like he be trying to get them to freestyle, which is funny to call.
Yeah.
He be spitting like it's them and making up bars for them. So
maybe when you take it that serious, I don't know why he can't do it for fun. So when I mean that, it's like not even like I'm saying, maybe when you take it that serious, he can't even do it like for fun. Because I was just like, yo, so when you go visit Royce and he working on records, like you don't even want to do a feature like on your boys track?
Nah, I don't think he hates music. I think he just don't like the music industry. That's always the vibe that I got from him. So he probably still play around and mess around on his own time. But
I mean, yeah. But like even your Friends tracks, not even the Friends tracks. No one,
huh?
Not even the Friends tracks.
You see what happened with Slaughterhouse?
That's true.
So from his point of view, right, like this shit just might not work in any circumstances unless it's, I guess maybe he's not trying to do that. He already got the podcast thing now. He's just like, fuck all that. My boy asked, he be tweeting and like people respond to him. So he posted under a Crooked Eye or something. I don't know. Crooked Eye responded anyway.
Crook
he
will
asked
respond.
Joe still King Crook.
Yeah, he will respond.
Yeah. And he wrote something to the effect like if Joe came, would he be rusty if he came back? And Crooks responded something to the effect that if he was in the studio with us, I presume us being Slaughterhouse or
they ain't gonna let him be
some of them that he would be. He said he wouldn't. He'd get back right back.
Steel sharpen steel.
I guess speaking to Joe's skill, and ability, compliment. But it'd be cool. I never listened to Joe Budden heavy, like his music.
Same.
But I heard his stuff back in the day. He had a song called 10 Minutes. It was a 10-minute song. I remember bumping that a lot. Everybody probably know Pump It Up. But I never got super into him. But he is a top tier pen. There's no doubt about that. Like nobody could say that he's trash or nothing like that ever. So it would be dope to see him. I just want to see him on the K Slay thing if that ever comes out. That'd be dope just for the reappearance, just to be like, yep, and go back. You know what I mean?
Maybe one day, dude. Maybe one day.
Yo, Joe's nice.
My favorite Budden song it's a pop song too, so I know you don't like it. like Joe Budden.
I might not know it.
Yeah. No, I don't think you did. I told you it when I knew it.
Yeah, no, I probably didn't know.
I'll look it up real quick. But let me see. Put It Down Like You. That's what it's called. It just got an ill beat, and it's the same producer who did the I'm On one with Drake, Wayne, and Ross. And honestly, it's almost the same vibe. It's the same vibe and everything.
Okay.
But yo, let me give Puffy some love on the next topic. Because after all the hate.
Okay. All right. Let's hear some Puffy love. Yeah. Okay.
Yo, because I saw like remixes. I was hearing some remixes on all the Busta Rhymes tip I was on. And I was like, yo, like now all the remixes, like, and I feel like they're like that today too for the most part. They just add more rappers. Like the what's that Jack guy I told you about? That even Budden acknowledged him this week. They overlooked him maybe because they thought he was a white guy. Yes, that album was good. I don't remember his name, but it was good.
I didn't listen to it, but I remember his name.
Yeah, I don't think it's good for you, but I mean,
no.
But it's good for the normal person. But nah, bro, what was that? Oh, okay, yeah.
Puffy
See,
Love
there's a remix
remixes,
on there.
adding
There's a remix
rappers.
on there, and all they did was take one of the hot songs, and they just added like 5 more hot rappers on there, and that's fine. But Puff Daddy back in the day when he called himself the king of the remix, those were completely different songs. Yo, even this has nothing to do with Puff, but like the Ha remix has a different beat. Yeah. So I was just like, man, like remixes back in the day, in particular the Bad Boy remixes, it was different songs a lot of the time.
The definition change of what a remix was.
Now it's just like it's different rappers, it's different people on
That's
it.
what it became, and that's not even today. That happened earlier, where it just became throw some more features. Basically, it was the original track with more features, and that was the remix. Yeah.
So no,
facts. Any unofficial remix back in the day was some, and it wasn't really a remix, but maybe somebody jacked a beat and did something similar to it, and that was the closest you got to a. I wouldn't call it a remix, but you know what I'm saying, like
So,
not a real remix, but yeah.
That was mainly it. I just want to give the Puffy the love.
You like his remixes.
He used to do
you
that.
Appreciate Puffy's remixes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even think they even bother with that anymore in these days. But
yeah, I mean, like him or hate him, Puffy's, super successful. Definitely made an impact behind a lot of the biggest people in hip hop. So, I mean, I guess that's that has to be respected. Everything else in between there, I don't really know. I just go for stories and shit that we've heard and read and lore. But yeah, you can't take away, you know what I'm saying, what he's done at the end of the day. So yeah. Salute to Puffy, I guess. I mean, but Puff, if you out there listening to this, and don't squash us either, because we know you have power. You could probably have us killed. But if you did throw that dove and it died, I want you to get help. That's ill. That's nuts. I'm just throwing that out there. That's out of love too. I ain't trying to diss Puffy. Sure. Another brother out there now.
He went to our high school, actually.
Alumni. Wow, I forgot that word. See, yo, we fellow alumni. I'm concerned. Just concerned. I almost forgot about that. If you ain't say that, I would have forgot about that word. He went to our high school. That's crazy.
There was that one religious teacher that he kept a picture of him in the class. It seemed mad weird. It looked like a stock photo.
Ill, right? We come from kind of the lineage of some ill shit, right? Yeah, word. I mean,
that's funny.
Got the same education Puff Daddy did, know what I'm saying? Fuck you mean? Stupid motherfucker. Nah, you right.
Yo, this is also from Joe Budden, and I did some Google stuff. Yo, you can't curse in the first 5 minutes of YouTube?
People be restricting cursing. Like, yeah, they be trying to. I've seen mad shows now where they be like, I watch Star, the Doggy Diamonds.
Well, I told you about edited shows on Math Hoffa and all that. Like,
no, this is live. So I've watched people's lives where they're taking in calls from people, and they've all been like, I mean, even some Queens flip ones where it's live, and somebody else is in there. They'll always be like, "Yo, don't curse." I think Doggy Diamonds is like, "Yo, if you curse once, I'm hanging up on you," and he's like, "It's not because I want to do that. It's because of the YouTube." They never specifically say exactly what happens if you curse on YouTube, but it sounds like things that you don't want to happen to your video happen. Like they don't get as many views, but whatever, it seems to be an effect. Because I've seen enough people specifically, yo, don't curse, or I'm cutting you off, or if you keep cursing, especially if their channel's monetized. I think for people that don't have their channels monetized, they don't care. But for that specifically, it seems like I've heard some crazy stuff about YouTube from the YouTubers I've been watching. Weird shadow banning stuff. People saying if you talk about certain things, weird things happen. I just watched some video. He said like YouTube acknowledged it that some weird thing is. I noticed that like I don't get real-time notifications. Like, yo, the timing for notifications on my YouTube,
What do you
On
mean?
mobile and desktop is different.
Mm.
Like, so say I go to Facebook on my phone and on my desktop, and I go to Messenger, like it's the same, right? Like it'll load up.
They
The
probably
last
got
message you
different
sent
servers
me,
for mobile.
yo, but there, no. Not only are the notification timings different, they're super delayed. So say to today, I will get a notification for a video that came out like 4 days ago that I've already seen.
Mm.
But I will just get the notification today. Like my notifications are like really delayed in terms of notifying me of when somebody I'm following does something. Like it's always mad late. But I've heard some weird YouTube shit, especially around the cursing. But what are you gonna say? First 5 minutes you curse, what happens?
Oh no, that's how you can still get monetized. And I was like, that don't even make sense. So like,
Wow.
why is it okay to curse just not in the first five? Like, it's bad enough we even like they even doing stuff, but it's almost like it's even weird the compromise. Like, why we gotta play this game? Like, I just don't curse for 5 minutes, but after that you can just be like fuck, 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 fuck.
No, just mark adult content, and if you're an adult here, like just don't mark it for children, right? Like you, what you have to do with YouTube videos anyway, you can mark it. Like, yeah, I don't get it. Um, I heard some other shit about YouTube. I can't remember what it was. Oh, I heard the clubhouse thing because of that whole DJ act thing. I heard something people because that's in beta right now, I think, or something like that. You only there by invite,
Yeah.
and some people were, kind of conspiracy theory talking about it. Some people allegedly that were invited to it and did have access to it. So it sounds like I don't understand what it is. It sounds like a big conference call,
Yeah, it's just
if I
audio.
understand correctly. And one of the dude was saying the best time to do it is during the morning because that's when there's actual like productive stuff going on. And he's like later on it becomes crazy. They're talking about there's a lot of people scamming on there, people pretending to be A&Rs and tricking rappers and stuff like that.
Already.
Um, but the other thing people were concerned with is that, and this isn't super surprising, but all of that shit is recorded and in the user agreements. Like I don't know all of the details, but right, like
Ain't that hilarious? I gotta interrupt real
they
quick because isn't that the whole point? It's the Snapchat of audio. It's
I don't know. So I'm just saying this from a perspective. Like I don't
that. So
know.
the whole point from our
The
perspective, it's the
implication is
Snapchat of audio. So it's just hilarious
so
that, but
maybe
the
it's
company's
maybe the dude
recording
was
it.
explaining a little more than that they just record it. Maybe it's like the level of ownership or control they have or what they could do with it. But the thought was that right, like maybe other people are listening, and in light of Vlad TV things and videos being used against people in court from things that they do on right these platforms, whatever tweets, Instagram posts that shouldn't be done. That's on the owner. But some people were bringing up the fact that right, like these things could be used. Star brought up that he had been in a case and Yahoo declined to give his emails to the judge. They wanted to subpoena it, and whatever the reason was, Yahoo was like, nah, come get us. We're not giving you his emails for this type of shit. It was like, yeah, if he killed a bunch of people, maybe, but no. So I don't know. Some people seem concerned about data privacy, which I don't believe, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from my limited understanding, I mean, like, well, that's every app with the same everything of data privacy. But from my limited understanding, yeah, it is. You're kind of right. It's like an audio call press conference thing, you know. What I don't like about it right off the bat is anti to me the spirit of social media because social media was about break the walls down, right? To quote the Chris Jericho entrance music, you know. I don't need the gatekeepers. I can get famous without anybody, you know. But I feel like by them beta testing it this way, and you got Oprah on it and all those people, it's like they're making sure they get their hands ingrained So random 11-year-old who still probably will get famous can't take over the way that TikTok is dominated by a bunch of unknowns, you know?
It's very anti-tech. I
Yeah.
thought about this too.
Yeah.
It's very against
Like
what
who's
you
making
normally
Clubhouse? It's
see
probably
these things to
AT&T.
do.
It's probably AT&T.
And I understand beta testing certain things
Yeah.
with a group or selecting. I get beta testing. I understand what it's for. I work at a tech company. Yes, I see those things. But yeah, to just release it to the celebs is like, what you trying to do with this shit? Is this for the people or you? Right? Like, well,
This is
how
the
you just
China way.
how
This
is
is the
that the
China way.
subset to get any sort of real data? How just celebrities use it or just these special people that got invites? Like, it don't seem very inclusive and generally, right? Like tech is trying to solve problems for everybody, connect everybody, make things easier for everybody. All of the things you hear from all of the tech companies. But this, yeah, no, I don't know.
Let me see.
Some of these shits ain't gonna last either. Like, do we need this? Do people need big conference calls? Like, why is audio? I don't. This should just be like flips on the last shit. Just it don't exist, but it's like, does this shit need to exist? I get that
It's a way about trying to take
new,
control back to famous people. That's all it
but
is.
it's just like, is
Bring
this
back
shit
some
important?
gateways. That's
Because
really
I
all
could
it
group
is.
chat with people in another group, right? Like you could still talk. I don't know if you could talk with 6,000 people. I don't think that makes sense either. You can't be on a phone call with 6,000 people either. That won't work, right? Unless somebody's moderating. So
You can kind of do that, a baby version of that on Discord already. You know?
I was gonna say, I'm talking to you just fine now. I've been in
I don't
group
even mean
chats
us.
and
Like if we're
conference
in a
calls.
server, you could do like 50 people, like if not more. You know?
I play an online game. This is the only game I play. You don't know. It's a
shit.
crypto game. It's an RPG too. I mean, I'm in season 24 right now. But I just jumped in season 22, you know what I mean? It's some simple RPG, but it's crypto related, so you can sell the shit that you get for actual crypto and stuff like that. For like Ethereum, it's based on the Ethereum, but it's super quick. It's not super involved. It's not like Final Fantasy or nothing.
Yeah.
There's some strategy. I play it.
This is real?
One of the thing is the groups, I'm not gonna go into the whole game, but there's like clans or lands, I suppose. Each one, the group is in Discord.
Yeah.
And it's obviously mad members and talk and all of that stuff. But this, yeah, like, do we need this? Like, do we need 60 people on big conference calls, audio clips? I don't get it.
It's not a bad idea. It's just we're kind of already doing it already. It's like you said, it's just a different spin.
Is this gonna stay here?
One of the most important parts is primarily on this, so it's mobile. But yeah, it kind of exists already, you know. And then, like I said, like they're trying to do the bootleg idea of Snapchat, but for audio. And like I'm reading here, like recording strictly prohibited. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what is that? What is that gonna do? Like anything that I can see or hear can be recorded, you know. Like so, it's just like
I don't get it. I don't. I'm not sure I get the utility of it. But
I mean, it was it for what. Obviously, until
I don't get the utility of Snapchat.
Until it becomes mainstream and you can see what it really can do with some innovative people. Right now, the main utility is to interact with famous people because in normal life you probably can't do that. So you can poke their brain.
Oh yeah, that's right. The dude explained that actually.
Yeah.
Right. It's supposed so that you could connect with people. Right.
Normally can't do.
Now that you say that, I remember him kind of explaining why it could be valuable.
If that got into the hands of normal people, it's probably going to be something beyond that. But now,
he said it's already beyond, and there's all kind of fuck shit going on there in the beta already, which I don't even know how is that possible.
But people are recording it already and putting it on YouTube and all kinds of shit.
Well, one of the things that brought this conversation up was the DJ Academics Meek Mill conversation took place on Clubhouse. And that was posted online to everybody. So that was one of the things too that brought it up, like you just said. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Clubhouse. I don't give a
How do we get that?
I can't run ads on that shit and get money from now. I don't give a fuck.
You don't care.
I don't talk to
you don't care.
Yeah,
How do we get to that? Because I'm pretty sure I ain't bring clubhouse up, so I don't even remember what I was trying to say. Oh, ads and shit. They're not cursing. That's what it was. That's what I had.
Right.
I don't know. I just found it where you can't curse. But going off of that, yeah. The next one I had was another thing. There's no more YouTube comments allowed on the music tracks. Now, when I say that the music tracks is really the art tracks. So the official uploads, not like a music video or not when Steve or you upload a random song you like for no reason that you don't own. I just mean the ones that come from the distributor. No one can comment on that no more. And I don't know why that is. I thought that's dumb, but I feel like that kind of hurts almost the independent artist, you know? The famous person doesn't really need it. I don't know if some trolling or bullshit, but at the very least, we should have the option, and maybe we do, and I just don't know. But that started this week. But yeah, like me, like, right, as an independent artist, people want to comment on my music, just the music. They can't. They can't. And I'm like, what's the point of that? Like, you know.
Who's Pistic? What's good?
Pistic? Oh, I don't know.
Is that what's up, Pistic?
He probably gone by now at this point.
You know what I mean? We still shout him out, you know what I mean? Hop in, say what's good. What's up, Pistic? If you watch this, we saw you on.
But yeah.
I don't know. I didn't see that.
You don't really hear
I know that comments are good for the algorithm, from what I understand. Like if you have a video and people like it, that's good. But comments are like a form of social proof, right? People are doing valuable actions on your video, right? It's one thing watching it. If you watch a whole hour-long video, that says something to the algorithm. If you like it, that's a signal, probably smaller. But people commenting on your videos is a level of engagement for the algorithm. It's like, hey, not only are people watching it, not only are people liking it, they're engaging with it. People are typing comments out for it, right? So that means if 1 million people comment on something, it's going to boost. People are apparently talking about this thing. Even if nobody liked the video, but it had 1 million comments, it's going to weigh that in the things that it weighs to do what it does. So that's kind of interesting that you say that, because I wonder how that affects, or if they did anything technically in the background to like account for that, which is all black box magic anyway.
From what I understand, those tracks are the same tracks that are on YouTube Music, which I guess would be their Spotify. So you can't comment there anyway, but it was cool to comment on the desktop and whatnot. But I don't know if that has to do with maybe more merging of that. But
Yahoo got rid of comments. I know that's different, but they just got rid of that shit. You can't comment.
I don't even know what Yahoo. Oh, an article? Yeah, no one really reads article comments though.
They don't have no comment section no more. To create a safe space for people. That was like the rationale. So nobody said nothing.
And you see, that seems to be the thing
and
where we're going.
Safe.
But see, now we're going backwards. Now we're going backwards. Like, you know what? Remove all speech and now everyone's safe, like you just said.
Yeah, that was their rationale. Everybody's safe. I guess they are.
Yo, so I finally tried to hear a Joe Rogan podcast, and we have a premium account. And I knew this already. We got ads in the beginning. I've told you this. And I'm like, I was kind of pissed, but I think the way it was explained, it's the normal audio rollout. So I'm like, all right, and you can fast forward them immediately. I was like, that makes sense. I could deal with that. The beginner ads, I get it. Then I heard motherfucking ad came up in the middle of the podcast, and I was like, you wildin'. I was like, I'm done. And it happened like another time, and I was like, yo, man, I keep Googling. We got premium accounts. I'm like, yo, the whole thing is Rogan coming with no ads. I was like, what is this ad bullshit, yo? Rogan coming, no ads. I'm like, this is worse marketing than unlimited internet, asterisk. Up until
was that how it was marketed? Rogan coming, no ads.
Not that simple, but yes, yeah, it's
Okay,
free.
so you had the expectation that there
It's
was
free,
not going to
yes.
be
No,
any ads.
it's
Okay.
free. It's whatever. But you know what's interesting? Just skimming Reddit, so I don't really. At least that's the way I understood it. Like maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I need to rehear those things again. Um, because Rogan on his own show before ever a Spotify, he's like, man, I hate interruptions, you know, in the conversation with ads. So I'm like, yo, now the show is literally doing this, you know. But hold up, now I forgot the point. Oh, going
You
on
pay
Reddit
premium.
as I was googling this stuff, like, yo, like what's going on? Is this just me? Um, it do seem spotty. Some people saying like, nah, I never get ads. Some people saying don't. So I don't know if it's just a me thing.
Spotify just glitching them shit. This shit was a glitch.
Yeah. So, but honestly, I don't think it is. Because there was some
Look.
articles. But yeah, I know. Like, there was some articles. There was some articles like from I guess one of the ladies who runs Spotify. And honestly, yo, Budden talked about this. Remember, he said he wanted to give him like $500 to run ads on his show. It's the same thing. And saying this was it. I never noticed it because the only podcast I ever heard on Spotify was Joe Budden because I don't use Spotify for my podcast. I listen to Joe Rogan substantially less now because I just naturally don't go to Spotify. And now I naturally don't want to do it because I know there's an ad there. And I'm like, I'd rather just keep staying on YouTube where I got no ads. But the other thing that kind of pissed me off about this is like some people on premium was like it's happening to me. Some people said no, so it's inconsistent. Maybe I'll try to contact them or something. On the one hand, I was like, man, they probably have no customer service because they're a tech company. On the other hand, I'm giving them money, so actually they have to have customer service. YouTube don't really have it, but we don't give them no money. So, but the thing that threw me off was everyone on Reddit who, this is what I was saying, like, I don't remember if it was no ads or not, but I do remember he did say, my podcast will always be free on Spotify. It's free, free, free. So everyone who did get Spotify and they're using the free account, not one of them said they have ever gotten an ad. And I'm like, yo, we paying money for ads and these people are using the free account and they getting no ads.
They didn't get to hear about the cool shit we selling. You should be ecstatic. It's privilege.
Yo, I was tripping. But one of the ladies, I guess, who's in charge of like the podcast side, someone linked an article there and she's talking about ads during podcasts gonna be the shit and we gonna start interrupting like a motherfucker with things like and they'll be targeted to you. And I'm like, well, I never use Spotify for podcasts, but that just makes me really never want to use Spotify.
That's terrible targeting too. Ads are never targeted for me. Ever.
But yeah, no, it was just more like, man, like unless like all the exclusive shows, I don't know, just things that I like would go there, I can't see me using it. And honestly, in a world where just damn, I literally used it as a word of a day on purpose because I had a trouble saying. I think inundated or some shit like that. Whatever the word that means overwhelming. We're so overwhelmed, inundated. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's hard for me to memorize that pronunciation. But in a world where we're inundated with so much shit, I'm like, I'll just go to another shit, which is what I did. You know, like I still not like I don't dislike the Rogan podcast. I just go here now. I hear Talib Kweli all the time now. like, that's it, you know?
I've yet to hear a commercial for a civilian purchasable Gatling gun or rocket launcher, so none of these ads ever have anything to do.
I don't think those are going to be... Who's the company running that ads? Who's the company running ads?
I mean, I don't need no ads ran up on me. I mean, be careful how quick you run up on me with them ads. I mean, I don't take kindly to that.
But I don't know. I just thought that was weird that... the inconsistency.
That's odd that you're paying to see ads. Yeah, no,
that's what I was saying. But the free people aren't getting any. It's just like
you better get rid of that subscription. You know what I mean,
I was like, yo, Apple Music, here we come, dude. That Apple One.
So you don't listen to Joe Rogan no more? That shit it cut you off?
It's very rare. I can't because like I don't want to be touched. First off,
you don't want to be touched by no dirt. Hear these shits at all?
Like Rogan, like so, like. I'm not like because I'm definitely pro Russ. I'm definitely always pro flood the market, right? But there is a truth, like I've been kind of saying the last couple of weeks to you, like kind of too much. There can be a too much point. I just don't believe too much exists for people. If you don't exist, there is not too much. You know what I mean? But Rogan does exist, so like the man puts out so much that it's like, man, I can't keep up with it. That I was like, kind of. It was just it became my podcast to hear, like me, like I do like a lot of podcasts I pick on purpose, so I do want to hear them. But you always telling me like you be hearing it on background, right? So Rogan became my background podcast where it's like I don't need to necessarily worry about hearing everything. And if there was a guest where I did, well, then he's not gonna get backgrounded, you know. And I did like that there was a lot of smart people on there that I'm probably never gonna hear about them because I'm not really going to those worlds, all the time. I'm not going to I don't know, random space people and all these crazy. He pulls from so many different places. I'm not really going to that.
Right.
So it's cool, but I mean now, like, I'm like, if you gonna make this shit difficult, dog, like the Spotify UI is already kind of like sketch, and now you giving me ads too, and I'm like, there is a hard counter, but it's just the show hasn't pulled me yet to do it. But I'm like, I could just watch the show on probably a browser, and that's it. Because I have ad blocker on my browser. There's no browser on Spot. Like almost everything on browser can be blocked. It's pretty ridiculous. But yeah, I'm like, unless Dave Chappelle and friends come on, I'm probably not really trying to. It's way too difficult, man. It seems way too difficult. For whatever reason, you don't get the video on the Roku. I was like, that don't even make sense. You literally turn off the video anywhere. You can't turn off the video on your phone. You can't turn off the video on the browser. If you want to hear Joe Rogan, the video turns on automatically. You can't turn it off. But on the Roku, the one place where the video belongs, it's only audio. It's like, who makes this shit, dude? Like, who makes this shit? So I don't know. It's just become more annoying to the point that it just makes me like, I'm probably only gonna want to listen to like if Dave Chappelle, when he shows up, whenever he said he was gonna show up like next year, I think he said like after maybe Biden goes in or something, like I'll probably hear that one and I'll just tough it out. But I don't think I'm gonna just hear anybody. Like Andrew Schultz came on today. I know you don't like him, but
I saw a little clip, a little video thing.
I don't even watch the clips. I don't even
waste my
time.
I was like, Joe, no, Joe, don't invite him. Why, Joe? That turned me off from Joe.
Well, they're comedians. They're comedians.
I know who Joe. I know what Joe Rogan is and who Andrew Schultz is. Bring up real comedians, Joe.
No, but I actually like Schultz. I like Schultz's story, and I actually like him on the Rogan. I like him on the Rogan. I don't listen to that show where they shitting on everybody, but I like him on the Rogan. And check this out. He's another Russ. He's only famous because he gamed the system. He gamed the system.
I don't think he's funny though.
I don't. Now you've heard me. Like apart from Chappelle, I'm not really laughing out here anyway.
You definitely won't be laughing at all. You might just be.
Angry. To be honest with you, I never heard Andrew Schultz stand up. Like but I told you already what I like for my comedy at this point. I kind of like that real shit. I just saw.
It's not there.
I didn't say he had it. I just saw this girl.
I'm telling you.
Alice Frazier. It was on Amazon Prime. I clicked on it by accident. I think she had a ukulele, so I was curious. Like, she doesn't even play the ukulele. But like, I didn't never heard of her or nothing. But I clicked on it, and I just heard what she was talking about, and I ended up watching the whole thing at some point. And it's because she was telling she's telling kind of like her story and shit. I like that real life story. Like her mom had MS her whole life, so she kind of broke it up into parts with this interview of her mom, and her mom's dead already. So it's like some real life. I like that shit.
You like other people's stories.
Yeah,
I know that's a fact. You definitely like people's stories.
They also gotta be good. Technically,
his comic shit is not funny. Yeah. I just get a vibe that I don't. It's funny. Like, it's one of them things. Like, I don't know him as a person, but there's something about him that shit don't mesh. Like, through the screen. Like, I just don't. Nah.
Because I know in the Buttonverse he come off bad with all that hate that was going on.
Fuck your story. My inner chi told me not to pay nothing. I don't fuck with you.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's my instinct. Like
I've never watched any of his shows. I've only heard him speak on Rogan.
I feel like if I met him in person, I'd want to hurt him. Something like that. And to be fair, I don't hate him. I don't wish nothing bad on him. And I don't know him as a person, but like his personality, I see him on. I don't know. He's not somebody I could actually.
But anyway, he was a good example in that I probably would have pressed play had he been on YouTube. And then where it goes, if it's interesting, I keep going. But on Spotify, I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to keep rolling. I don't care. I was like,
good. Thanks, Spotify. Good job, Spotify.
I was like,
I'm actually glad Spotify.
Ignoring all this shit. I'm just ignoring
I don't know
all
if I
this
think you like Andrew Schultz and Drake. Now, I don't really got too many
Drake. I like Drake.
At this point.
I don't like Andrew Schultz.
I'm okay. I just said I like
Drake. I like Andrew Schultz on a Joe Rogan podcast. I don't like Andrew Schultz content. I like Drake content.
There's a lot better stories than
I like Drake
I
content.
can just tell. I don't know what his story is, but I know there's better ones.
I don't even know his story. I just know, I guess he pioneered like the clipping out his stand-up. That's it. And that was like taking advantage of the short attention spans of today. You know what I mean? That was it.
I don't like him. Yeah. That's my final words on that.
Let's see. We start to wrap it up. I was looking at the top 10 most pirated movies like of the week. Maybe we should talk about that at some point. To start doing that top 10.
That's a list they have? Wow.
Yeah, it's been going on for years. So I always like to check it to see what the people are doing.
Most pirated movies of the week. Where are they getting this data from? How do they know? Couldn't they just get the pirates? How do they know what's being pirated?
Probably just looking like at torrent numbers and things like that.
All right. Salute. Salute to the torrents.
There's 2 movies on there. The second movie is the one of interest, but I'll start with the first one in case you want it, because I know I do like talking about budget films, horror films, just for the budget. So Blumhouse dropped another movie called Freaky. You heard of it? You probably have.
Yes, I saw the trailer. I watched a round of horror trailers the other day. It is Freaky. I saw it. I feel like it's a comedy, right? Is it a horror comedy?
Well, maybe because Vince Vaughn's in there, but
it's Vince Vaughn. He switched places with the serial killer.
It's Freaky Friday, but it's a serial killer instead.
Yeah. No, I saw it the other day. I
don't know. I was just curious if that interests you.
I don't know if I do like Vince Vaughn. He played that dry kind of like his style of comedy is kind of fun. Like it do look like not revolutionary, like you said. It's not a new kind of thing. But some of the parts of the trailer look kind of funny, but I don't think I need to see. I don't really watch too much horror comedy.
I was almost interested in it. I think there's still like a serious horror element in it, but it's just Vince Vaughn's also there.
I can't be as a horror fan. Nah, like you already lost
because Vince Vaughn is a girl now. Vince Vaughn is a little girl. Vince Vaughn's a little girl now. Yeah, he's a little girl. He's a little girl.
He's dancing. Nah, he had to prove because
he's a little girl. Yeah,
him doing the cheer dance,
and the little girl's an old man, like killing people.
Let me tell you something. Let me just break something down to you. All right, when you're in the middle of real horror, none of that shit. All right, let me ask you something. You see anybody dance or explain some shit like that if Jason's coming? No, Jason's right here. Good. Nobody's acting out no funny. Nah,
they haven't done Friday the 13th, like Freaky Friday.
It's a horror comedy, but it still obviously is a horror movie though. So there's still interesting. It's in the horror comedy genre. It's like Shaun of the Dead. Know what I mean? Not exactly.
No, that shit's actually funny. There's no horror in that movie.
But that is a horror. No, it's a horror comedy though.
I don't know if there's any horror moments in there.
It is a zombie. Go look up Shaun of the Dead right now.
No, I get it. I believe you, but I feel like
there's action comedies. I get it. Comedy.
I get it, but I feel like I wonder if there's like one scary scene in there. But I bet you there's like a scary scene in the Freaky movie. Like I still get
I
the
doubt
vibe.
it. You not a you a civilian. I don't listen to what you say. Scary horror movie. You
No,
not
I
the
just mean
horror.
like an attempt
Ain't nothing scary in that
do
shit.
the yeah. There's
Ain't nothing
nothing.
scary in that shit. And freaky. Ain't a fucking scary scene in that shit.
Yo,
I
but
seen the trailer.
the main
Ain't
thing I
nothing
wanted
about
to
that
bring
shit.
up,
That shit didn't even
yo,
to me. You know what the funny shit is? You saying
what?
like it's a horror comedy, but
Yeah,
like I don't think there's no horror in Shaun of the Dead or that shit. Like
yeah.
none of them shits. Off the trailer, just seeing Vince Vaughn, I'm
You
like,
know what
okay, this
movie
is
I
not
want to
really a
see?
scary
I
movie.
keep
I get
holding
it.
it off. They Must Be Dead. I think it's called. It's the one where Bill Murray is a cop, and it just sounds ridiculous. It's a zombie thing, but Bill Murray is a cop in some town, and there's like gazillion famous people in it. But I mean, if you see the trailer, clearly this is more comedy. It's not horror at all.
There's different levels to horror comedy.
Yeah.
It depends on how it's played off. Sometimes it could be more subtle. Vince Vaughn and what I saw in that trailer is like this is a Vince Vaughn movie in the skin more so of a horror movie. Like the whole it just looked. I don't think not that I get scared in horror movies, but I doubt there's a moment in that movie
Yeah.
that remotely is frightening. Vince Vaughn is already comforting.
It's comforting.
Him being the serial killer is laughable.
Yo, I want to say, just based on some of because I feel like Vince Vaughn been popping up on my radar this year. I'm starting to get the vibe. Maybe he been living the Nick Cage life.
He coming out right now. You like, freaky. What the fuck's going on?
I feel like every month, like since September, like I seen like a new Vince Vaughn trailer, and it's always some sketch.
I like Vince Vaughn though.
Like, I do too, but it ain't what he used to do in the past. It made me think like maybe he was living in some castles too.
Yeah, but I bet you would not be scared by anything in this movie.
No, I know I won't. I know I won't. But anyway, the other movie.
It looked funny though. It looked interesting.
The other movie I saw on that list. That's on the top 10 pirated movies of the week, Freaky. But
that was the most interesting horror movie trailer I saw.
Damn. It was. To me, it was too. I actually was interested.
I watched like 15 of them shits.
Damn, I could never do that.
Me and Tab watched them, see what new movies, because we watch horror movies. And I'm like, let's see what shit's going on.
Jeez.
We be smoking. She wasn't even paying attention to them shits anyway. I was the only one watching them, but.
So you might know this next movie.
That was interesting.
Because it's not real horror, but Songbird. You heard of Songbird?
Mm-mm.
So I was surprised. I was almost interested. I almost was interested because I was like, yo, how you make this shit that quick? Yo, they pitched this movie in May, and clearly it's out now. It's a COVID movie.
What's it about? Oh, no, I didn't see
COVID-23 in this movie, dog.
Oh, what do you mean is it COVID, though?
No, there's a COVID-23 in the movie. Instead of 19, there's a COVID-20.
It's actually about COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Nah,
it's the mega lockdowns. Like you leave your house, like you get clapped.
COVID. No, hell no, I don't want to see that. They telling they about to Inception. They about to put into our minds. We should see that. That's probably what's gonna happen. If you want to sneak peek.
I was mad surprised.
COVID-23?
Yo, 2021 didn't even happen yet, and we got the COVID movie. That's the quick turnaround, you know?
Yo, this is universe shit. Before we did this, I was randomly thinking, like, when is it gonna be not too soon to make a COVID movie? I was just thinking, I swear.
May.
I was like, when is it going to be okay for them to make the Contagion movie where COVID is actually the disease? Because I'm like, now it seems, they usually give it some time, you know what I'm saying?
May. It's called May.
Touchy shit. Okay, 2021, fuck it. All right.
It took
COVID-23. Shit gets worse, right? I guess.
It took two.
What is that movie going to be? Yo, that's nuts.
America.
That's crazy
right? America kind of March, we shut down, right? So it only took 2 months. That's when it was okay to make that movie.
That's just probably a bleak future too, you know what I mean?
Oh, it looked mega bleak. Yo, ain't no streets. COVID-23 is hard. COVID
COVID
23.
23 has like 100% kill rate. Like, it's not like the COVID 19.
Yo, the cities are empty as fuck. I mean, I guess you could have just typed it in, but you don't even got to watch it now. I was just sending it to you in case you do want to see that shit.
I don't want to know nothing about COVID 23. Jesus.
It looked like if you leave your house is bad news, dog. It's just like
So COVID's gonna get a lot worse, basically, according to this.
it was all kinds of shit. Like if you leave they got like wristbands, like like when you go to a concert, like that prove your immunity and shit. All kinds of crazy
People
shit.
talking about this shit type of, I don't know. It is kind of.
I was rolling with the movie until I saw one name. And it said Michael Bay on it, and I was like, nope.
Ooh,
I was like, nope.
What?
Nope. I was like, absolutely not. I was like, absolutely not.
COVID 23 gonna be lit.
Man, yeah, I know. COVID 23 is like bombs everywhere. Explosions.
It's definitely solved by an explosion. Like at some point in the movie, the military's just ordered.
So he's just a producer. He's not a director. But once I saw that name, like I literally my suspension of disbelief, like I just fell out. like I just fell out. I was off the bandwagon completely. I was just like, I ain't watching this shit. I don't care what he did. I don't care what he did or didn't do on this shit.
I don't care what happened to nobody in that COVID movie.
But no, I just found that interesting that we didn't even leave 2021 yet, and we got a full-blown Hollywood COVID movie.
Nah, that's crazy, because I was just thinking, like, when will we have a COVID movie?
That's May.
Netflix already had started. The algorithm had put those movies up when this shit was happening. So Outbreak was on.
Yeah.
All in the banner. Contagion was on there. But they didn't have to do specifically of it. When you first say COVID movie, what I thought you were going to say was I don't know if it was a trailer. I saw a quick video on something of a movie. It was a horror movie, and it was filmed completely remotely, and it was directed remotely. The story, it makes sense given the plot, but it takes place like these girls are on a Zoom meeting basically doing a seance, right? So it's one of those kind of
this is the remake of the movie from the past, right?
I don't remember the name of it, but I just know it's like, imagine me and
it's
you
three
right
girls.
now.
They're witches, right?
There's a bunch of like women in it. Yeah.
Yeah. My sister wanted to see it because it came out in the past, and it's a remake, but it's more like a sequel remake.
Okay.
Because I think one of the girls
I wasn't super familiar with but I guess it's all done. All of the filming looks like this, right? It's probably shit that would be happening in the back of your room and scares and you get killed walking around. But all of the actors had to film themselves essentially because it was all remotely, so they had to learn whatever they had to do. And
I think it's The Craft.
I guess it was all direct. Yeah. Right. The Craft is
Legacy.
a witch movie.
And yo, I'm sorry, real quick, because I know you love these movies. The Craft: Legacy, because it's a sequel, and I know you love your colon movies.
Right? How many crafts? Are there?
I think this is number 2.
Like number 5.
I think this is number 2. It was number 2, so it's semi-safe.
It's just off. They didn't make none.
Nah,
I remember the original one. It had all of the girls, all of the hot
90s. Yeah,
not all of them, but
yeah,
had some of the girl stars at the time.
Yeah,
some 90s joint. I vaguely remember the old one.
Yeah.
The cover almost looked like the original one.
I think if I remember the trailer, one of them get like too powerful or some shit, right? Dark Phoenix.
No, this ain't the movie I'm talking about. Nah.
It's not. All right. Well, all right. Continue.
No. It's definitely not this. But I did see this. No, the movie I'm talking about, the story, the movie is a Zoom. So imagine the movie is.
That's
me
where you
and
were losing me. Yeah, I get it.
We're gonna do a ritual together over VC, which is odd to think. And that's how, so now whatever weird shit's happening in the back is on the screen. I don't know what it was called, but it's like
there's a few Zoom movies on Netflix like that happened over the summer. I don't know if this one is in there, but yeah, it's a Zoom movie. It's
not a Zoom movie, but it's the screenplay for the movie
Yeah.
is a Zoom call. It's us, me, you, and Duke
No, that's what
connecting
I
on
mean. The movies
Zoom.
is
Yeah,
it
yeah.
takes place
So
in a
the
Zoom,
film
like
is
Blair
it's almost like
Witch is a
split screen.
hand
Yeah,
cam. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah.
So the
It's a Zoom
movie is
movie.
basically the
Yeah,
Zoom thing. I don't know how in depth they go into it. I don't know if there's screens that aren't in the Zoom. Maybe they go into the person's room because it did say the actors had to film themselves because of COVID. So
yeah.
there's no cameraman. Any of the filming being done was done by each individual actor, and then the director was remotely directing. So I just thought that was interesting in the new age, right? Like, it's probably not an ill movie. It don't really look that great for horror. Nothing that I think I would need to see, but the remote aspect of it, right? Like actors filming themselves and the directors directing remotely. I thought that was like, that was kind of interesting.
Mm. Yeah, and there was a bunch of stuff that was coming around that, like around June this year, in the vein of using Zoom to do movies. I didn't
Are
see
you
one of
interested in
them.
the craft?
No.
I'm not. I'm not either because
I'm not
I
interested in
never got.
any
I
horror
never got
movie.
into
The
this one.
the closest might be with Freaky because Vince Vaughn's in it. Like if you put anyone else in it, I mean, if you put other famous comedians, I might be interested. I was like Eddie Murphy. I'm like I might be interested in that too. But if the comedian in Freaky is not someone I care about, then I probably don't care about Freaky either. I don't horror is just not my genre, dog.
Yeah, no, for sure. This wasn't the original craft. I don't know. I put it in the realm of like, I don't know. I just felt like it was leveraging those people at the time. It was more one of those kind of things. Like,
Yeah, they're in a movie.
all right, but yeah, they're in the movie. We like to find it. I don't know. Like, I know what you did last summer. They got Brandy and Freddie Prinze Jr. and whatever other girls were hot. I can't remember the girl's name because I just actually saw that movie. But they were all the Noxzema girl was in. All these people just
The
jam
only
these girls
girl,
in. Yeah, that's
because you
not her
said
name, but
Freddie
you know what
Prinze
I'm talking
Jr., the
about.
only girl that comes to mind is Jennifer Love Hewitt. That's it. Everybody,
Jennifer Love Hewitt was in one of them. That's not the Noxzema girl though, but she
yeah,
was
she
she
did.
was in it.
What is it? I Know What You Did Last Summer. The
That's what I
series.
saw recently. She was
Really?
in I Know What You Did Last. But there's another famous girl. The
I
other
had
girls,
like the
all of them
biggest
are
crush on that
famous.
girl growing up.
Another girl. It's not the Noxzema girl on that one. It's another girl. It's Jennifer Love Hewitt, and I can't think of the other girl's name. Or the dude, Freddie Prinze Jr.'s in it. Actually, he's like I think the other main famous dude. But anyway,
Man, I don't want to go too much into it because I was already ready to do the last topic and wrap it up. But I saw that Showtime show a while ago. I told you about this, the comedy show already, about the comedy club. And Freddie Prinze had a segment in there, his father.
Oh wow.
And because there's a lot of OGs who won in that club, Like like obviously Richard Pryor went through that club. And what's the black guy who Paul Mooney went through that club? I was like, what's the guy who hates white people? Paul Mooney. He didn't do it though. I don't know why. He probably was angry. It's probably but he didn't do this the doc, Paul Mooney.
They say he got like dementia and shit now.
Oh, really? So maybe that's why.
Yeah. I saw an interview a while ago about somebody that was close to him, and like, yeah, they were kind of alluding to like he kind of losing it a little bit.
But
from what I don't, if I remember correctly.
I don't even know what even triggered this, but I guess probably because you said Freddie Prinze Jr., but they go into it heavy on him, and he seemed to be like the chosen one, from the vibes they talking about, especially in the 70s, right? Less independent route, like available at that time. But he seemed to be like the chosen one. But then now that we're a lot more aware of mental health and stuff, like it looked like, yeah, man, it's just whatever his issues were, I don't know. But it seemed like like none of that shit was making him happy. And he never thought he was good. Even though at the same time it looked like he needed to be number one, even though he never thought it was good, like it just seemed like none was enough. But I don't know. I think maybe just hearing Busta Rhymes' story too, like maybe it seemed like he was a little bit close to the edge too, like Busta Rhymes during these last 10 years, But yeah, he finally ends up killing himself, But just you were saying Freddie Prinze here, it reminded me of that.
So Freddie Prince's father killed himself? Freddie Prinze Jr.'s father?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I might have known that back in the day,
I
but
remember growing
I
up,
didn't.
like I think he's one of the names I would hear just because he's Puerto Rican, and they didn't have a lot of the Puerto Rican stars in the
Yeah, yeah,
in the
yeah. That's
mainlands,
crazy. I didn't know that.
yeah.
Well, if I
So
did, I just got reminded. But
yeah,
yeah, man.
but it's the last story. It's the last story. There's still more, but I'm not even gonna check the websites because I'm afraid to check the
I
websites.
only have one more thing, and that's it.
Oh, you
But
got
yeah,
one? You got one?
it's not a topic. It was just kind of off of what you had just kind of said about the Freddie Prince kind of thing.
Oh, then go on that because I was gonna go on
I'll
my.
keep it quick. It's not even about the topic. It was just
Yeah,
something I saw. Um, so I like horror. Sometimes I watch indie horror games. I
yeah.
watch like people walk through them just to kind of see like the horror, like how people make the game. And I watched one that was super interesting. It was a real quick game or a demo. And so, guy's a cop, goes into a mansion to investigate a murder. He goes there. The house gets so crazy. He gets led deeper and deeper to the house, and he finally arrives. And he arrives in this. He goes to this room, and it's like the story of the sinful king, and it's all the 7 deadly sins,
Mm.
and it's like a puzzle used to do solves, and he ends up going to his elevator. But at the very end of the whole thing, he's in this room. There's just a hallway, and each door, there's doors you can't open, and they have something. So some will say desire, some will say words of that nature, and there's all this shit written on like fuck. It's like a horror movie. It's like why am I alive? I hate myself. It says all of these things, but as you're following him in it, he's bugged out. So you just think that he's in a haunted place, right? Like just bugging out. He thinks his partner's fucking with him, all of this stuff. But it was funny because I had just picked up on it, and not that it was super perceptive of me, but when he got down to the room, I was like, he's in his own hell. Because I'm reading the shit that's on the wall, and I'm like, why is it stated like this? And then at the end of the story, it goes into, he explains these things that he's seeing, they look familiar to him. And he ends up seeing certain items, and he goes into like something happened with his girlfriend. He leave her. That broke him. He was a cop. He started using drugs, got into a real depressed part in his life. And the last thing he remembered was like he got somewhere. So what I take it is that he ended up killing himself. This isn't told explicitly, but looks like he kills himself and he's in his whole hell. But while I brought it up and the suicide, remember, was the depiction of hell. It was, he was in his mind. He was in a room and everything written on the wall, it was like he was in the negative part of his mind. It was all of the rooms, desire, jealousy. It was like all of the feelings that he had during this event that happened with the girl lifting. It was all of the things that he felt about himself. But like I'm saying, as you're watching it, at first, it just appears that it's like it could just be a horror movie if you're not seeing the connection. You eventually get it. But as soon as he walked in and I read it, I'm like, yo, I was like, he's in his hell. And I thought it was just kind of ill the way the whole visual and all of it played. Like his hell was in his mind. It was his perception and his feelings and all of that literally manifested like in the game in this horrible room that looked scary. And then when you hear the story, it was just an ill way that they like showed that it was hell, that it was just him in his own play. He didn't go to no mansion or nothing. He was maybe dead in the afterlife or something, but he was in some sort of reflection looking at the hell he created for himself. You know what I'm saying? But it was super interesting. But that made me think about.
There's a. I know it's cheesy on paper, man, but the Lucifer that I told you about, where he's a cop.
That sound ill. It sound ill.
His hell in that world is the same exact way. He says, dude, I just run hell, but I don't keep nobody here against their own. They can leave whenever they want. The problem is they never do.
And so does he. We all got free will.
They never do.
We all have free will.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. I ain't even think of it like that, but essentially,
choice sits above love and fear.
Yeah.
You have choice, and then what path of the force you take, son, is on you. And the outcomes are written out and clear. And I think we need to spell it out. Don't have to be in Star Wars. Be in any story you want. Know what I'm saying? Hey, just take this for instance. I brought this up to my boy. I say Cobra don't have a home.
Wait,
they
Cobra?
out there running Renegade. They don't got nowhere to come back. G.I. Joe's got a country. All right?
You did mean that, Cobra.
See the difference? You see the difference?
Yo,
I'll
by
leave
the
that
way,
there for the people.
by the way, because now you said Cobra,
another
another 80s show. The Transformers War on Cybertron Chapter 2 comes out at the end of the month on Netflix.
Chapter 2.
Yo, I told you that Transformers was the most
you said that
intensive war. It's like Saving Private Transformer, dude.
Jeez, man.
But yeah, that comes out at the end of the month. Yeah, this is the last story. It's kind of a play story. You heard of that Cyberpunk game? That was like the game of the moment. You heard of that?
I've seen all sorts of references to it now too, and other shit.
I don't know much about it except that apparently
I don't know
it was bug riddled. It was buggy, especially if you played it on console. It was like, remember how you complained about Street Fighter V being released? It was like this, but like 85 times worse. Especially if you played it on a console. If you played it on a console, it was just trash. One of the excuses I heard today is like, yo, man, we have to bow down to the consoles, so that's why the computer version ain't as good. It's like, don't stop it. Don't blame it on other systems sucking because
you gotta release a statement. I get it, homie.
No, they actually they actually made like an apology post. Yo, we're sorry that the game doesn't play like a stable game.
You don't fucking shit. I give you $60. You better fucking say something. Fuck you.
Yo, so PlayStation themselves today. This ain't the story yet either, but just to show you, like, there's so much crap going on with this game. I still don't even know what it really is. You know, one of those GTA style games, I guess, or open worldy type games. But Sony themselves said, yo, anybody who bought one, they banned the game. You're not even allowed to buy the game.
Wow.
If you have the game already, sure, you can keep it. But
wow. First off, you're all fired. All of you that made this are fired. Our platform banned our game.
Because I heard the PS4 version was the worst. It was just the worst of them all. It's just like buildings not there and shit and all kinds of shit.
Y'all better hope they got stimulus or somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
And then Sony said, yo, they just gonna... First off, this is a lie, their statement. But they said, yo, we uphold equality. You know, we want positive experience. That's what I was saying. I was like, stop it.
We're not going to say we sell crap. Of course not.
I was like, yo, there's a lot of crappy games I bought in the years. If you want to refund me for that. But
nobody tested that shit? How does that happen?
Yo, they said they...
How?
Yo, but they offered anyone who bought the game a refund. Just like, you want your money back?
This shit don't work according to you. Yes, you will be giving me a fucking refund. You or Toys R Us or whoever the fuck
you can keep it. If you want, but if you don't want it, just you can delete it. Give me your money.
Back, my foot. What do you try CD for? The fuck you talking about? Keep the shit.
That shit.
Keep it. The fuck you mean? Give me my money back.
I mean, Fortnite got banned on the iPhone earlier, right? But that was because people want money. But I ain't never heard of a game being banned because it's too bad. Like the game is just too bad.
Yeah, we won't even let our system play this shit. We're sorry. You know what
we don't
mean?
even want you to pay.
What's the point of letting me keep the shit? Oh, that's why they let you keep it because they don't even want. And we banning this shit. Keep that shit as a souvenir. That might be limited edition. You know what I mean?
So like there's so many things wrong with this game. Like I guess that I don't even know because I don't follow it. But there's a lot. But my actual topic was. One of those things that's wrong with it. And like in the Twitch world, right, where everybody's getting copyright strikes for the music, DMCA strikes, I found it interesting. There's an option in this game, and maybe this is the new tech. This is where we're going with technology. You can turn off all the DMCA music so you don't get a strike while you're streaming.
When you're streaming it, so they cater to that.
So one, I found that interesting. Like, man, so now you remember I was talking about that band with 2 albums? Now you're going to have like these 2 album games. But yo, check it out. In the spirit of everything I just told you and all the bugs, yo, there's still a song that can get you a strike. It can't even do that right. It can't even do that right.
Yeah, I tried. You know what I mean?
We can't even do that right.
Fucking
So if you turn it on, you can still it's still copyrighted music plays.
My only question to all of this is like,
Also, this game was in development for 7 years. By the way,
everybody's fired. I quit. I'm overseeing this shit, right? I'm a failure too. Fuck. I can't just fire everybody and not take accountability for this shit either. Yo, this whole operation is shut the fuck. Hey man, this operation is shut the fuck down. How y'all don't test it for 7 years? Nobody played it? Nobody played it before they mass produced it or nothing? Nobody said, did they beta test out? Nobody was like, yo, this shit don't work. And that song's still in here. Nobody.
That's why I brought it up, because I was like, yo, all these bugs going on, it makes sense. But I'm like, even the simplest thing, even the song feature don't work. Even the song feature.
Yo, this shit turn on. That's good. They'll be all right with it. You know what I mean? Shit blowed up, right? $50.
I just found out.
You should load, right? You should load.
Started. The game does
load.
start.
You
the
good.
Game does start.
You good. What you complaining about?
I just found out today, Keanu Reeves is in the game.
No, he ain't. Might not be. Might be a bug. You know what I mean? Nigga might not even be there. Blanked out.
You're right. If you play it on PS4, he might not be in there, but on the normal,
tight, isn't it banned? I would sue them if I was Keanu Reeves. Y'all fucking up my brand. Y'all got me in a banned game.
Put me in these shitty games.
It's just banned. What is this?
Yeah,
that's crazy. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that. Like a game so terrible at production release and is banned by the platform. So
yeah.
I don't have a testing team, I guess. Like I don't know. How does that happen at an actual business? Seriously.
No, I agree. Honestly, I don't know.
They could fork us each $100K just to like check this shit. We don't need no technical expertise or nothing. Just like
play the game and give us your reactions. Yeah, just give reactions.
It's common sense react. No, but I want at least $100K for this shit because y'all all getting paid more. Y'all clearly are incapable of like releasing a stable product. Like I want $100K. Me and you would have solved half the shit. Just looking at this shit. Y'all retarded. This shit don't work.
That's your whole report.
You talking about releasing?
That's your whole report. This shit don't work. This shit don't work. That's your whole report. $100K for that
shit don't work. What the fuck's going on? I ain't an expert enough. I'm just saying this shit don't work. You know what I mean? This shit don't work. $100K consultant. I'm telling you, these are $1 million companies. Your game don't work. Don't make sense. Don't make sense.
They probably have that AT&T communication we was talking about.
This should give me belief. More story. I know I can make it. I know I could be one of the big dogs. There's no way there's no way these things is happening. Everybody that made that game probably made nice amount of money.
Yeah.
I would think.
7 years.
I still do. That shit failed. Know what I mean? Probably still walked away with that check. Know what I'm saying?
Hey man, public company, you know what I mean? Investors fucked up.
Man, I don't know, man. I be telling people, yo, you be thinking getting in some places is crazy. Like, don't count yourself that crazy. Yeah. I ain't smart enough. I don't got enough this to do that. That's a big
stop.
Take a shot, dog. You'd be surprised. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck's going on behind the scenes?
Man, we just talked about
they already got made. Yo, you'll get your way in there. Nah, I mean, you'll be all right.
We just talked about the Puffy album, the legendary Last Train, where I just said Puffy sound like an amateur. He wrote no rhymes. He did nothing. I'm sure he did something, but in reality, he didn't do the normal musical things that we would expect, you know? And yeah, here you go. You got a legendary album according to the JPB boys, you know?
Right. Well, I would have been tight if I got that game. That's crazy. I had never heard of nothing like that. What would you do? Like, what? I don't even. What would you react? Would you just bring it back? Like, would I think this is right, or like, is this how the game is?
I'd have to know like more of the bugs. In a game like that, I think I'd be educated enough that I probably wouldn't have gotten it for PS4, so it probably wouldn't happen to me. I probably get the computer bugs. I don't know what those are. Um, because games like that just look like, yo, man, that's not a game you want to be playing on on a console. You know, they can't handle that real shit. You know, they can't. That look like a computer game, dog. Don't be. And that's not to say the computer game don't got bugs either, but I mean, it ain't got shit like that. It ain't got shit like so
And they were like, well, the console sucks, so you know what I
mean? They were blaming it because I think one of the things I heard was like, they can't go too far ahead because then they leave the console behind. I'm like, I don't want to hear that shit, dude. Just do you and just like
figure it out. I don't know, man.
I mean, this is probably simple stuff in my head, but sometimes I'm always like, for things like that, like, yo, just do the godlike game. And then I know they won't agree to this because business, but like, yo, if that game gotta look like sprites on the system, then you can accurately say, yo, PS4 sucks. You know, like, I'm sorry, like, but the game's godlike on something that can handle it, though. You know, but this whole compromise for that, like, that was a whole thing about like when E3 used to matter a little bit more. It probably still will, but everybody used to always complain, yo, how come the E3 trailers look godlike and then the game comes out and it sucks? And they were saying, like, that's because that game was only on computer at that point, but then it was on PS4 or 3 or whatever, and now they had to bow down. They didn't want to make it too good, you know? And it's like, supposedly consoles be holding computer games back, you know? At the same time, if you look at the computer games that are only computer games, that's why they so dramatically different. They ain't have to bow down and know.
They don't have to develop for yeah. I ain't mad at them for having to deal with that technical kind of issue, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's still
let's not front. It's not PS4's fault. The game's not. Stop it. 7 years, dog. 7 years.
They just not trying to make whatever it takes to make, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I guess 2 separate versions or something like that, so to speak. But
I mean, honestly, like this is probably made by a big company, and yeah, like there's a lot of things with communications when it comes to that. Just like you was just talking about. So it's probably like
nobody tested it apparently, right? Nobody gave it a test drive before you released it. Everybody was just playing it on computer, like it should fine.
Or maybe just people think you believe the hype, you know? Sometimes, like, they've been wanting this game forever. We are who we are. We made The Witcher. It has to be good, right?
They won't know that this shit don't work.
It's funny, but sometimes people believe that shit, though, right? Like, yo, I'm the guy who did, right? This, you know, I always mean this in the most positive way, right? But there's demons like Michael Jordan, right? Who, like, one title, that's it. I need more, you know? And then there's other people who get the one title and it's like, I'm the guy who won a title. I'm going to always get titles. I'm going to always get championships, you know? So maybe some of that was in here. Like, yo, we made the Witchers, right? Like, how are we not going to get everything be
you
a
like
Witcher?
The way those work, right? This all works the same. You're looking at it differently. Which one are you controlling? You know what I'm saying? It might be a network connection or something.
They probably on Wi-Fi. To tie it back to Tekken, they probably on Wi-Fi.
Yo, if business executive watch our show, we should charge them because we we fixing whole corporations here.
Oh, we should change our podcast. We should change our podcast. Jules for businesses, and that'll be the theme.
Talk to the app department if you're interested in making an app.
That'll be the theme.
Your own business.
But yo, song of the week. Let's do this.
Do I have a song of the week? I do. Yeah, Ransom. I've been listening to him recently. He dropped looks like an EP. I don't know if it came out today or this week. But there's a song called Uncut Gems on there that I like. It's on Crime Scenes by Ransom. So I like that. And there was something. Oh, okay. The Mega joint brought me back to listening to Mega, the Drink Champ. So Say No More and On Everything from the Mega EP. I had bumped some Mega this week. You know what I mean? There's some Mega on.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, that was a dope podcast for sure. Mega on there.
I had a lot of jewels. Yeah.
So I got 3 songs of the week. I got 3 songs, but the first song, this the number 1 song. Yo, that Bad Bunny Booker T song, that shit's fire, man.
Oh man,
that shit is fire, yo. That shit is fire, dude.
Booker T.
Dude, the chorus, the hook in Spanish is "I'm a king, champion, Booker T." That's it. Like, that's basically what he's saying.
None of that shit makes sense, but yeah.
Nah, King Booker, baby. King Booker was a 5-time champion. And then he had a whole storyline about being a king.
I hear you. I hear you.
You know, like Spanish ain't my strongest like language, but hearing some of the lyrics, he talking about people don't be writing their rhymes too and all kinds of shit. Just like we be talking about the reggaeton struggle. The reggaeton struggle, dude. But he said he not gonna mention names. He not gonna mention names.
Yeah, I bet nobody does in the game. Nobody does. All right. I'm gonna move along from the Booker T.
Nah, that song was hard. That song. Oh, and at the end they play a sample of it. Can you dig it, sucker? And then it goes woo, but then it goes boom. Then back to the trap beat. You know, I was like, yo, that shit's hard. That shit's hard, man. But Booker T was awesome. He was happy to be. I was like,
I like Booker T. Yeah.
I wonder if they actually. I was like, I don't. You know, he's talking about wrestling and the scummery of it. As far as I know, off the top of my head, there's only one wrestler who got to keep their theme song from WCW to WWE. And his name is Booker T. And I don't know why, but that might be maybe because I don't even think WCW even owns that song. And maybe that's why it's in here. Because I'm like, I don't think, maybe I'm wrong already, but outside of it being released on a WWE records, I couldn't see anybody sampling it and being released legally, you know, like, and I think the only way, because I think his brother, I think, owns that beat, because I think there was a few years he couldn't use it, and I love Booker T, but then I hear some of the names, and for a little while he wasn't Booker T, he was G.I. Bro. Not the biggest fan of G.I. Bro, but I mean, like
G.I. Bro? Wow. G.I. Bro.
It sounds like something that should have been made in the 80s. I haven't seen too much G.I. Bro, but it just sounds like something that should have been made in the 80s.
Word. G.I. Bro. Kind of hard. Kind of a bar. That's kind of... Yo, Booker T just earned some points for me right now. Yo, he
Booker
was G.I. Bro?
He was G.I. Bro.
Yo, he was G.I. Bro?
G.I. Yes, G.I. Bro.
Bro, short for brother. You get it? You ain't following me here. No, that shit hard as hell. That's just a ball.
I think Booker T. You know how you hear like people like, you know, they do things so that everybody else can have it easier. I feel like Booker T went through that, some of that, like with some of these things, because right, G.I. Bro was his solo career. I mean, not really, but like for a little bit, it was one of his solo personas. It's a very short stint. But then, like, Harlem Heat, he's from Houston. But I guess at the time, black people come from Harlem.
Harlem Heat is maybe my favorite Booker T period, actually. That might be my favorite era.
But once I learned that, like, recently, like, yo, he's from Houston, like, that just sounds like some, like, old school stereotype. Ain't nobody gonna believe a black man from Houston. He from Harlem, though. And now you got
nobody will know the difference.
And now you got these two black brothers, like from literally who are actually brothers in real life. That I didn't know till also this year. But like they're two brothers, but they're from Houston. But now they just repping like they from Harlem because they black. And I think they used to always say like they from 110th Street or some shit. Like they were literally quoting city streets.
Capping all the way capping.
Anyway, this song is hard.
You ain't even been on the 2 train.
I think in one of the end verses, he says something like he's breaking like Booker T, and that's because Booker T did the spinneroonie, you know, the breakdance. Anyway, King, champion, Booker T. Booker T, dog.
Never forget. GI bro.
Oh
Wow.
yeah, GI bro. I'll send you some GI bro.
Bro. That's hard. I can't believe nobody took that up. Pick that up. GI bro. Let's move on. Let's move on. Songs of the week.
Yo, I'm gonna do Diddy, Dirty Money, The Last Train to Paris. I'm gonna do the Yesterday. It was the Chris Brown song. And then I'm gonna do this song is hard. This was my song of the day till Booker T came out. Busta Rhymes, You Can't Hold the Torch. That's the song with Q-Tip and Dilla on the beat. That song's hard. That's a dope song. You should hear that if you don't know it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it. Those are my songs of the week. That's it. Last words?
I did have some last words. Some simple ones. It was the title of an email I saw in my inbox.
Title of an email.
Before I get to these words of wisdom, GI bro, I'm just amazed by that. But yeah, for you keep out there as usual, think, in light of some of the things you said, I'll try to keep fine real quick. Like you'll think, just people. Right? I always recommend this. Untested games, double building of apps. If you listen to the podcast, you listen to the last portion, I'm gonna drop a jewel. Just think first. Ask a question. Right? Could save millions of dollars. Production efforts, all kind of fucking shit. You listen to what I'm saying. With that being said, you don't fly too close to the sun. If you need me to explain that shit to you, know what I'm saying? Leave a comment or something. Know what I'm saying? I don't know. Interact with us. But other than that, I assume think about what that means. Know what I'm saying? I'll leave it at that. Don't fly too close to the sun, idiots.
There you go.
For the smart people out there, salute.
There you go.
Dumb.
Bake that chicken, smoke that turkey, boosh.